Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Monday. The Hounds are live with you till 10 o'clock. I'm Rob Brinkman, Brad Ryer, my co-host, back from Yankee Stadium. Brad, not a good game you went to.
That may have been the worst game that
Ever?
I've ever been to. That was really
I felt bad for you watching on TV. I really
that was
did.
that was a tough one.
And of course we got Frank the Tank
Yo.
Vesby
Well, I'll tell
producing
you,
the show.
I'll tell you what though, Rob. You know, the next game, the one that they got knocked out,
Right.
that was a far more depressing game than the one I was at.
At least that was competitive.
Well, it's competitive. The Yankees should have won the game. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, he's the new A-Rod.
Not a good week for
Mr.
you.
Chiller.
Not a good week for you, Brad.
Tough week to be a New York fan.
Oh,
Good-
all the way.
'cause-
I mean, I guess you know, I watch a little MLS. I mean, I have a great team in MLS,
I mean,
the
yeah.
Red Bulls,
What?
but I mean, like nobody really cares about MLS.
No,
So
this is America. We don't care about soccer.
no,
I mean, unless if
know.
you do a soccer show, then.
Well, no,
but-
I don't. and I'll have the one or two
If
people.
A2D did a soccer show, negative people would watch.
Yeah, it would be
Probably.
it would be a
Negative
negative.
people would watch.
It would be a negative.
There'll be some weird following, but I won't guarantee that it will not get
Yeah,
a
I
lot
mean,
of
people.
views.
What time? It's like the middle of the night in Europe right now.
Probably.
That's who would watch.
Yeah, you get some like random Swedish people coming in.
So,
like,
I mean, if I-
"Ooh,
so
are you
Frank-
talking about Malmö?
So Frank, if I talk about the ultimate scoring machine, Bradley Wright Phillips, nobody's going to listen.
Our video just exploded. Tom just took it down. We now need a new forum. Thanks
yeah,
to
right.
you. All right,
Thanks, Brad.
we got it.
Sorry, Frank, but you know it's getting, in New York. We're getting a little desperate here. You know, I'm not a Jet fan, so it's just, and I'm not a Devil fan.
As always, we're brought to you by
So-
Gibson Mayer LLC, certified accountants. Visit GibsonMayer.com. Brad, not a good week for New York. Now, the Eagles, they get a big rebound win. I was not confident in the Eagles at all on Thursday. I'll admit it. That's fine. Call me a fraud. Call me a bad fan. Call me whatever you want. The Giants.
Well, they were only 1-point favorites that game.
The Giants.
They're
the
horrible.
Giants are the Rutgers of the NFL.
They're horrible.
This team is by far the worst team in the NFL.
Well,
Brad, I don't think they're going to win another game.
Rutgers. To say they're Rutgers is just a whole different. That's a whole different ball game. I mean,
The Giants are a
the
whole
Giants are pretty.
different ball
The
game.
Giants are bad though.
Eli Manning is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. That's not hyperbole. That's not a hot take. That's not an over-exaggeration. Eli Manning is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. I understand he doesn't have a line. He has enough of an offensive line to get the ball
Let's put it this
more
way.
than 3 yards down the field.
Let's put it this way, okay? He's become a gun-shy, chicken football quarterback.
He's unwilling to throw the ball down the field.
He's unwilling to stand and
They
face the pass
threw-
rush.
One post pattern down the field to Cody Lattimore. It was,
Yeah, he
I
caught it
believe,
at
in
the
the second.
sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He torched Jalen Mills. Cody Lattimore torched Jalen Mills. The Eagles' secondary is not good, and now Sidney Jones is hurt. And that was the only time they really threw the ball down the field, and it worked. They got the big screen pass from Barkley, and Barkley had 2 touchdowns that game.
No, we only
Correct.
had one. 'Cause
Only
they only
one.
had one. He had the 50-yard run.
These are 30-point weapons that they have on the Giants.
I understand that, and you know
Beckham,
what? When I watch
Shepard,
when
Barkley,
I watch other
Ingram's hurt.
quarterbacks, you know what? I'll tell you what, Rob. Yesterday, I sat and I was watching. I watched a lot of football yesterday, and I'm watching all these quarterbacks. Okay, I'm watching Sam Darnold, and I'm watching Andrew Luck, and I'm watching Dak, and I'm watching Bortles. Although Bortles looks pretty bad.
He's
But
probably the second worst quarterback.
But
in the
I'm
league.
watching him, and then I turned and watched a little bit of the Carolina game. And then finally the New England game. And I'm looking at these quarterbacks, and other than Tom Brady, all of them get the ball. They all have big pass rushes on them, and they move around the pocket. They avoid the pass rush. They set up and they throw the ball. And not only do they throw the ball, they throw it accurately and they throw it down the damn field. Now, Bortles didn't, but everybody else seemed to do that pretty well. And Eli is still playing chicken football, afraid of the pass rush, afraid of getting hurt. I think what's happening to him is the same thing that happened to Kurt Warner when Kurt Warner was the quarterback of the Giants before Eli came in.
Right.
Okay. Kurt Warner got that pass rush and he was gun shy. And then when he went to the Cardinals had a good offensive line and he was able to be very, very good. I don't know that Eli at this point in his career, he's too slow, and I've said this before.
Yeah.
It's like a broken record. He's too slow. He can't get away from the pass rush. He's too scared, and he's not accurate anymore. So I mean, at this point, unless Loletta isn't ready, Loletta should be in there unless he's not ready. And
Loletta was inactive on Thursday, which I don't understand.
Or Tangy, I think
Tanny.
Tanny
Was active
Tanny
over
was active.
Loletta.
Yes,
That's correct.
Jeez.
They don't think either one of these guys are a better option. I do trust Pat Shurmur to see in practice who's a better quarterback. So
I feel bad for Pat Shurmur.
Yeah, I do too because he's taking a lot of unnecessary.
Did you see him when he
abuse.
was yelling at his offensive line coach? They were showing him the pictures on the iPad.
Yeah, no, you know what?
He just throws the pictures on the ground and just walks away.
He's basically gotten to a point where he's almost had it. I mean, there's a lot of problems right now on that team. I mean, they start with the quarterback, but it's not just him. Okay, the defense has been terrible. Getting Vernon last week didn't really help all that much. They were able to force the Eagles to punt the ball, but it seemed like when they weren't punting the ball, they were scoring touchdowns. They weren't scoring field goals; they were scoring touchdowns. And you know what? That's a problem. Also, Eli throwing an interception on the second play of the game.
That's correct. First drive.
I mean, just such a mutt. Who does that? Eli Manning does that.
It was a horrible throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was behind the receiver, and it bounced up in the air, and it was begging to be intercepted because, once again, he is not accurate, and he can't put the ball on the money anymore.
Carson Wentz should have had a couple of interceptions in that game, but the Giants defenders just weren't paying
No, they
attention.
were dropping the ball.
They weren't paying attention enough to
I don't know exactly
the Giants are a really bad football team.
I don't know what's
They're
going
a really
on, but
bad football
they
team.
just didn't seem to be involved, and the Eagles were totally involved. The Eagles look like the Super Bowl champions against the Giants.
I disagree with that.
But what I would say to you is this, Rob. The Eagles' 3 wins are against teams with a combined record of 4-14, I believe.
The Eagles have problems.
So
there's no doubt about it.
It's not like the Eagles have beaten any remotely good teams yet, and they're going to have a very, very tough schedule. They won the Super Bowl, and they are going to be playing the middle of a very rough, tough schedule.
Yeah,
they don't get any breaks now.
They have the Carolina. Well, they have a bye week. But
Well, that doesn't. I don't mean that. As far as playing, as the teams that they're playing, they're not getting any breaks. They are playing a very tough team. If this team wins the division and they get to the playoffs, they will earn every penny of it. No question.
That gets me to the Eagles because I saw a flawed Eagles team on Thursday night. They played better. Carson Wentz looked fantastic. Carson Wentz, that losing half a step stuff I was saying last week with Ralphie, he looked bad. He looked like the MVP Carson Wentz. He had that bounce in his step. He had that zip on that ball.
He looked good.
He looked really good.
He looked good.
Now, the Giants' defense isn't good, but he was still
able to
that
step
was the
into
first
the ball
game he
and play
100%
well.
got an A+ on the Rob Brinkman eye test. And he's been good. He's been far from the problem on the Eagles. But now you have a secondary where Jalen Mills kind of got torched again. You got Sidney Jones, who's hurt. He's week to week now with a hammy. McLeod is still MIA with the sprained MCL. Rasul Douglas, I mean, are we really relying on him to start at safety in the NFL? The one Barkley screen pass he took, he looked like he never played safety or took an angle on anything. related to tackling.
Barkley can make you do that though. When Barkley gets in the when
I
Barkley
understand,
gets some
but
some
that
room, he can
touchdown
be
could
really,
could
really
have been
good.
prevented with basic fundamentals. The Giants just
Yeah,
weren't
probably.
good. The Giants just weren't
Probably.
good enough, and Jason Peters is incapable of finishing a game.
Oh yeah.
What do you do at left tackle? Do you put Lane Johnson at left tackle and put Vaitai at right
Yeah.
tackle?
Or maybe bring in Jordan Mailata. That's another option
Well, you
people are
could
bringing
always-
up as well.
You know,
Jordan Mailata.
Here's the thing with Peters. He doesn't have to play every
Right.
series. You play him every other series.
A platoon offensive line.
Well, if it comes to him, if he can't finish the game, what are you supposed to do? Wouldn't you rather have him in the fourth quarter? Than
I haven't seen an injury report this week yet, but I don't know if he's going to be able to play on Sunday against Carolina.
I heard that from looking around some different sources that the Eagles are optimistic that that Peters will be able to play on
but for
Sunday.
how long? I mean,
That's the other thing. We don't know the full extent to his biceps injury, but Howie, Doug both said that they are pretty optimistic that he will play on Sunday. It's just unsure on how much he's going to play.
Yeah,
That's the
Carolina
other
is
question.
my point being is, yes, 34-13 over the hated, stinky New York Giants, a great division win. You're 1-0 in the division. This team's still flawed.
Oh yeah.
This team is still miles
Carolina
away from.
has not shown me that they are a good football team. Sorry, guys. They just barely beat the Giants on pure, unadulterated luck. 63-yard field goal. That guy will never even come close to kicking a 63-yard field goal again. Okay? And then they get their brains beat in by the Washington Redskins.
23-17 is getting your brains beat in.
It was 20-3 at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Redskins
They
took
lost
their
by
foot,
6 points, Brad.
The Redskins took their foot off the accelerator.
Well, that's
okay,
not
but
that's not the
but the
Carolina
bottom line
Panthers'
is
fault.
but the bottom line is they were getting dogged by the Redskins.
Well, the Redskins
yeah,
are good.
They came back late. Well, we'll see how good the Redskins are. The Redskins have a whole season. I don't know. Are you buying the Redskins? Because I don't know if I can buy in yet. They're 3-2, and
they're 3-2.
yeah, but they also lost one of those losses was to the lowly Colts at home.
Well,
Yeah.
teams lose games.
Yeah, but to the Colts, only 1 out of 5 have lost to the Colts. I'm just saying, Rob. You know, Washington.
The NFC East is a very flawed division.
Yeah, Washington's a weird team. Dallas, I think we've got Dallas figured out right on the
Do
nose.
we?
right
They
now.
beat the Jaguars 40-7 yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think we have them figured out. At home, they're a very, very, very good football team. On the road, they stink.
Gets me more ready for London. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
The Dallas Cowboys.
I've been telling you for 4 months not to worry about the Jacksonville Jaguars in that football game. So I don't even want to hear about the Jacksonville.
Well, I
Jaguars.
also predicted that the Jaguars would not make the playoffs either.
You did.
And lo and behold, look what's happening.
They're
Yeah.
3-3.
Yeah, and everybody probably thought I was nuts, but I saw that coming. I mean, you know, when teams are that bad offensively,
Yeah. Blake Bortles is the crutch to that Jags offense.
The defense starts to get pissed off, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
a couple of guys get injured, and all of a sudden the defense isn't as good
Then
anymore.
everything falls apart.
And then the whole team falls apart. So I mean, am I surprised about Jacksonville? No. Am I surprised what happened with Tennessee yesterday? Yeah, that to get shut out by the Ravens. I mean, I know the Ravens are improved, but come on,
But yeah.
They let up 11 sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 sacks. And you think our offensive line is bad. I mean,
Yeah.
the Giants have the second coming of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line
Right.
compared to giving up 11 sacks.
I mean, the one signing I loved when you guys picked up Nate Solder. I loved that signing by you guys.
And I like picking up Ogletree too. I thought that was a good pick.
And Will Hernandez as well in the draft. So
yeah, but the right side you got
you
Omama,
need to improve the white
You got
side.
Omame, who's terrible.
right.
Okay, and the center is terrible, and Wheeler on the right side is terrible.
Yeah.
You've got 3 horrible players on that offensive line right now. So I mean, what are we looking at? And Solder has been he's been very average, not worth the money he's getting paid, and Hernandez has been up and down. He's typical rookie offensive lineman in the NFL. He's had his good moments. He's had his bad moments. Most of them have been good, but I mean, you know, you're not talking about the second coming of the greatest offensive lineman in the history of the NFL right now with him.
Okay, so we look ahead. The Eagles have a very big game. Very, very big game against the Carolina Panthers.
They're at home, are they not?
The Eagles are at home.
Yeah,
yes.
that's a game they should win.
The Carolina Panthers are 3-0 at home. They are 0-2 on the road.
That's a game that they should win. I think that the Carolina Panthers the last couple of weeks have been dreadful. They should have been 0-2. They're very fortunate that they came out with a win against the Giants. As I said, the Giants basically shredded their defense. If the Giants can shred their defense, I can't imagine what the Eagles are going to do to them. The Eagles are going to put up 40 against them this week, and you can write it down. And you're hearing it from me first.
40 points?
They're going to put 40 on that team. That team defensively is if the Giants put up 31 in Carolina.
This game is going to show me on Sunday against the Panthers. Is going to show me a lot about the 2018 version of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, let me tell you something. If the Giants can put up 31 points, Giants hadn't scored 30 points in a game since December of 2015, and they put up 31 against the Carolina Panthers.
Because the Giants are a JV squad. Great that they won. Great that there was building points that we can take from that game to move forward.
It was one game.
But I think the Panthers are a good team.
Yeah, I think they stink. They haven't shown me anything. I think for them to lose to the Washington Redskins, with the talent they have, shame on them.
Okay, but what if we look in December and the Eagles versus Redskins in Week 17?
Well, if the Redskins if the Redskins are 9-6 and the Eagles
how can you say the Redskins stink right now? I don't understand.
I'm not saying they stink, but I'm not buying it yet. They haven't proven to me. Who have they beaten that's really good this year?
I think they beat the Panthers on Sunday.
I don't think the Panthers are a good
team. You disagree.
I think the Panthers stink. That to me, yeah, I watched how they played against the Giants, and the Giants outplayed them. Had the Giants not muffed that punt in the end zone, and had Carolina not gotten a 63-yard field goal, they would have lost that game. The Giants outplayed them. They outgained them from the line of scrimmage. They had the ball a lot more. They were controlling that game. I mean, and for Carolina to get beat up like that at home by the Giants, and we saw how bad the Giants are. That's not championship football. I'm sorry. You know, right now, as far as that division goes, I think clearly the best team in that division is the Saints, and the Saints are the best team in that division by a country mile.
I think it's going to be
maybe the no defense division, but by a mile.
Both teams. Well, the Eagles are 3-3. Panthers are 3-2. They've had a bye week already.
What's New Orleans right now? What's
they're
their
4-1.
They're 4-1.
Right now, bye week. They did not play yesterday.
Yeah, right now the Eagles are in a position where if they win the division,
they need to win a game. The Eagles need to win a game in a conference.
They're three games. They're 3 games away from the Rams are ahead of them by 3 games. The Saints are ahead of them by 2 games. That's a lot. That's a lot. Stop. Forget about a first-round bye. You're not going to get that.
We're not going to get the bye.
Advantage.
We're not going to get the bye.
That's the furthest thing from my mind right now. They're nowhere. The Eagles are nowhere near the Saints or the Rams right now. Just stop with the bye week talk. This team needs to figure their shit out, win this division, and hope they get hot at the right time. That's their path to February this year. Last year they were front runners, and they did a great job doing it. This is a totally different team. I don't care what happened. I know what my eyes saw me about the Giants. I saw a Carson with the MVP pep in his step, which is fantastic. That's great for the Eagles. But I see a line that still is flawed. I see a secondary that's both injured and bad at points. This team needs Rodney McLeod back, or they need to make a trade for a safety.
I'll tell you another thing. I think when they go to Dallas, it's going to be a very tough game for them to win.
Those games are always tough.
Yeah.
Dallas
is not going to roll over
extremely well at home this year, and Elliott's not getting suspended this year, so they're not going to go away.
You have 2 games against the Redskins still, then you have a gimme against the Giants.
Right. So that's who else do they have to play? They have to play the AFC that division.
They still have to play the Rams. They still have to play the Saints. They still have to play Houston. They play Carolina on Sunday. Jacksonville in London. Which the only thing that could potentially scare me about the Jaguars is the games in London.
Yeah.
Which is total bullshit. They shouldn't have NFL games in fucking Europe.
No, they
It's
should
the
not.
dumbest
shouldn't.
thing. It's the dumbest
They
thing
shouldn't.
ever.
I
I mean, if it was a preseason game, that's one thing, but a regular season game
Cool.
in London,
a game that
no
means
thanks.
a game that means something is just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's like it's a premier game. No one's gonna see it because they're still gonna be sleeping off
Yeah.
their hangover from Saturday night.
Right.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
Pretty much.
Or unless the people are that excited to wake up at 7:30 in the morning to get your pregame coverage for a 9 a.m. game.
Eagles Nation will be up.
Oh yeah,
I'll be
they'll
up.
be up.
Well,
yeah, I'll be up
you guys
too.
You guys
I'm
will be
actually
up.
looking forward to the
Yeah.
9:30 time slot. You watch the games.
Yeah.
You can
You-
go
then you
about
have
your
the day
day.
off.
You come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the day off, and then you can come back and turn on Sunday night if there's.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who's on next Sunday night, but usually Sunday night games are pretty good.
right.
But
I don't
anyway,
know. It'll be entertaining to watch a London game.
forget about home field. Forget about a bye. This team needs to correct its flaws,
Right.
which yes they still do, despite a 34-13 victory over a JV New York Giants team. They need to figure it out. There's still a lot of pieces that need to come together for the 2018 version of the Philadelphia Eagles. Because I'm already sick about hearing about 2017.
Oh yeah.
How long does this? It doesn't matter. They'll be fine.
we're the reigning
We're the world champions. It doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. How long
like-
does that narrative last?
I mean,
Brad,
it-
you've won the Giants have won the Super Bowl twice, fairly recently.
yeah.
Within the last 10 years. I don't remember. I can't recall how the following seasons went for your football team. But how long did that euphoria of the fan base last?
As soon as the next season started, basically that was over. I mean, keep in mind, okay? I mean, for you guys, it's a little different. You guys went 57 years without a championship. So I mean,
That's true.
It's,
The
Yeah, I
fans,
mean,
a
the
long-
fans,
it's a
it's
big high.
long. That's a
the fans
long.
don't
Yeah.
know how to be winners.
That's a long time.
They don't
man.
know how to be
The
winners.
Giants,
They like being the lovable losers, the
Right.
Negadelphia.
The Giants won in '86 and in '90, and you know what? They won those two Super Bowls. They were in the Super Bowl in 2000. They got their brains beaten, but they were in the Super Bowl in 2000, and then they won it when they won in 2007. That was, I mean, you know, it was bedlam because New England was undefeated.
Right.
And that was probably, as far as point spread, that was the second biggest
Yeah.
upset in the history of the Super Bowl. But as soon, right after the season started, when the Giants got
Wasn't
off
the-
to a slow start,
Wasn't the
you know,
biggest?
well, no, actually that year they got off to a great start. That was the year Plaxico shot himself
Yeah.
in the
It
leg.
was.
They were 10-1 when Plaxico hurt himself, and they were never the same after that.
Yeah.
That's the year they lost to No.
No, they lost to the Eagles in the playoffs.
They did. Yeah, I remember that game.
They lost to the Eagles in the playoffs.
That's right.
right.
Because none of their
That's right.
receivers
That
could
was
get off.
08.
Because that was because we went to the NFC title game that
Yeah,
year.
they
Right.
We lost to
Dallas-
Arizona.
And they lost to Arizona.
44-6. They
Yeah.
got in because they tied against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Because
got
of the
it.
win percentage.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Ties are
ties
better.
could. I didn't know ties could
They're
happen.
better than losses, Frank.
They are.
they are.
But-
I'll say
They
that.
are,
But
Then 2010, if I remember correctly, they stunk. 2011, they were a mediocre team, and then 2012, they had a good offense. They had a real good offense, and their defense finally caught up with their offense towards the end of the season, and then they had a great playoff,
Yeah.
and Eli had a great playoff, and back then they had a decent line. Eli could move, and Eli was deadly accurate. And they won
Yeah.
those. They won, but the following seasons, the Giant fans were not talking. The Giant fans were booing when the Giants came out and stunk up the field. Okay, and they were doing that pretty regularly.
well, the Eagles' offense got booed on opening night. I booed against the Vikings.
They look terrible.
I mean, even when I was at the game against the Vikings, fans were booing Jalen Mills and pretty much some of the defense. Which,
the Eagles played an awful game, but
They
I mean,
did.
in
The
all,
offense
in all,
played it off. It was all the offense's
Yeah,
fault
it-
against the Vikings.
it
was-
The
it was a-
defense's
it was a-
fault
I'll be
against
honest.
the
I'll be honest
Vikings.
with you though. I mean, listen, you have to be fair about this. Okay, I'm sure the Vikings had that game circled on their calendar all year.
yeah,
Okay, the Eagles, I think, fell into the same malaise as their fans did when they played that game. And, while the Vikings were out for blood, guts, and destruction and to crush, kill, and destroy, I don't think the Eagles got their edge until they were down, and then they finally got it together and came back and, made it a battle.
7 freaking yard line.
Yeah, well,
basically what
the other fumble that got
could be the
running for a
last
touchdown.
memory of Jay Ajayi in an Eagles uniform, unfortunately. That's what people are going to get out of this.
Unfortunately, what happens is, and it's not just the
He's
fan
such
bases,
a bum.
but the
Jay Ajayi, he's such a bum.
I
He's
think
a
Jay
bum.
Ajayi is a good player.
He's
but
a freaking bum.
he was
What
good
is
last
he?
year. He was good last year.
Okay.
Listen, I think the biggest problem with the Eagles is letting Blunt go. I think
That's true.
Blunt was
And
But
even
Blunt was a
Ralph
beast.
Dellavecchio said that.
Let's-
He's like the biggest
Blunt
thing that hurt was
let's-
losing LeGarrette.
Let's get back to the
Blunt
the
was
Super
Blunt
Bowl
was a
race.
beast.
Yeah.
How long does this narrative's gone, right? That
At
they're
this-
the champions
at this
and they got a long
point-
leash. The leash is gone.
Yeah, at this point, the high has to wear off. I mean,
You
yeah,
gotta,
it was.
you got to win a big conference game
Yeah,
on Sunday.
you have
That's not against
yeah.
a freaking JV Giants
Right.
team.
like.
You got to step up. You got to
I
win.
mean, after
gotta
the
win
first
on
game,
Sunday.
after opening night,
Or-
that's when you got to focus on. All
or
right,
JV
let's win now. Let's
or
forget
JV
about.
Colts team.
Let's forget about last year. Everything
just
that
as
happened
bad.
last year. It's a whole new ball game. It could be anybody's division, knowing how the NFC East is. So, I don't know.
The Colts are not as bad as the freaking Giants, Brad. I'm sorry.
Colts are
the
pretty
Colts
bad.
have a franchise quarterback in Andrew Luck. The
Yeah, and they
Colts
have
put
a-
up
and
the
they have
Colts put up
guys-
30 points yesterday without their best receiver and no running game. And they don't have a line either, and Andrew Luck looks fine.
And their defense gave up 40 points to the Jets.
Okay. The Giants it's not even worth an argument because I'm
They-
right.
They gave up 40
It's not even,
points
you're so
to the
wrong.
Jets.
The Giants aren't going to win another freaking game. They're
No,
going to go
they'll
1
win.
in 15.
They're not going to go
1 in 15. Maybe I'll give them 2 and 14.
Nah, I think more like probably 4 and 12. I think they're going to win some games.
You think that team's going to win 3 more games?
Yeah, I do.
We'll go through the schedule later because
I-
they have no chance.
They have an easy schedule. The rest of the season's not that hard for them. There's a lot of winnable games for them.
I mean, me and Ralphie talked about it last week. Teams that score 21 points in today's NFL, they lose. The Giants are incapable.
So do teams that score 31 points because the Giants scored 31 points and lost also.
And that goes to the point that your defense stinks, but your offense, Eli can't throw the ball 10 yards.
I think against the
He's
Falcons.
too scared back there.
I think against the Falcons.
They have no shot in
the
that game.
49. Well,
No shot.
They played the 49ers who were no good anymore. The Falcons.
Maybe you win that one. There's your second one. There's your 2 and 14.
Okay.
You'll beat the Niners.
They also get to play the Tennessee Titans, who have no offensive line whatsoever. I'm trying to think who else they play. The Colts. I mean, there's some winnable games in their schedule. I have
Andrew
to.
Luck's going to torch that defense.
Yeah, but they're going to torch
Torch
Andrew
them.
Luck too.
Do you guys have defensive superstars? Do the Giants have defensive
They have some players on their defense. that are
Landon
pretty
Collins?
good. He's not a bad player.
He's a great player. I like him a lot.
Damon Harrison is a good player.
Damon Harrison is not a game changer.
No. Alec Ogletree is a pretty good player. Vernon is a pretty good player. He's back now. I mean, they've got some players on their defense that aren't terrible.
They stink.
Kareem Hunt is not Kareem Hunt. What's his name? Kareem. The guy they got from the Cardinals.
If you can't remember his fucking name, Brad, he's probably not that good.
No, his name is escaping me now. He's not. They've got some guys on their defense that aren't terrible. They're
aren't
players
terrible.
aren't.
That's the
aren't
standard. That's the
They have
standard.
no- they have
you're allowed
no-
to be on the Giants if you're not terrible.
They don't.
That's the standard.
The
you've set.
problem with the
Big
Giants.
Blue.
The problem
You
with
guys
the Giants.
stink.
The problem with the Giants is they don't have a pass rush. That's the problem.
They don't have corners either.
No, Jenkins is okay. I mean, it's not. They need a pass
The
rush.
Jackrabbit?
They don't have a pass rush.
Janoris Jenkins holds every time the ball enters the air.
Well, a lot of guys do that. I mean, listen. I'm not going to sit here and criticize him. I don't think it's his. I don't think it's his fault. They don't get sacks, Rob. They don't get a pass rush. They don't get sacks. They also can't stop the run at all, which is
We gotta
unbelievable.
talk about some real football teams now. The Eagles have a big game. Frank, can you pull up the NFC East schedule for Sunday? You got the Skins, who look good. Alex Smith looks good. Jay Gruden can coach. They got a nice running game. They got some pass catchers. Their defense is doing okay. I think the Panthers are good.
Adrian Peterson has had one
Fountain
hell
of
of a
youth.
comeback season.
And then
All right,
the
let's
Dallas
see.
Cowboys out of nowhere beat the Jaguars 40-7.
Nobody saw. I didn't see that one
No.
coming.
Not 40-7. I mean, yeah, okay. If you told me
I
the
thought it'd be
Cowboys-
40. I thought it'd be 40-7 the other way, but because of that Jacksonville
Yeah, but
defense,
Blake Bortles is the second worst starting quarterback
Yeah.
in the league.
The
the biggest
Cowboys-
crutch to the Jaguars.
The Cowboys have been pretty solid at home this year. They've not been solid on the road. I mean, I think they've lost. They're 0-3 on the road, and they're 3-0 at home.
I mean, that's fine, but I mean, if
I
you
know.
don't-
I'm just
I mean,
saying that's so. So I mean, there's definitely a trend
they're
there
in the
with
mix.
the Cowboys.
You have 3 teams in the mix in the East, and then you have the Giants.
Right. The Giants are going to lose almost every game.
Almost.
So I mean, they're going to be the doormat.
So how do you handicap the NFC East through 6 weeks?
I still think the Eagles have the most talent and they're going to win, but the Cowboys are
See,
not
now,
are not
the
a
fact
joke
that
anymore.
you're telling me that the Eagles are going to put up 40 points on Carolina and I have nothing to worry about. That scares me even more.
Why? I'm just going by what I saw when the Giants played them. The Giants were able to
They
put
have
up
a lot of good
the Giants
players.
the Giants
Carolina's
put up
a lot
points.
of good players.
Then how come they can't stop anybody?
I don't know. I don't watch the Carolina Panthers every week.
Neither do I. I'm just saying they don't stop anybody.
Yeah,
though.
Christian McCaffrey,
That whole
Cam Newton,
their whole listen. Every team
Greg
in that,
Olson's healthy.
every team in that division has a terrible defense. I think it might be a
It's like that.
a
It's been
membership
like that for
card. You have
years.
to be but it's exceptionally bad this year. Exceptionally
You're right.
bad.
Tampa Bay made a move today. They fired their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, their defense is
Well,
terrible.
that's a step in the right direction for Tampa.
It was that Mike Smith guy, that guy that used to coach the
The Falcons.
The Falcons.
Oh,
Who
jeez.
just didn't.
Yeah,
ever
for
have
whatever
a clue.
reason, I would have thought that he'd be a good fit. He wasn't a bad coach with
Yeah.
Atlanta, but it didn't work out there.
But
But I mean, right now the way I'd handicap,
So,
I still think that
who's better, the Skins or the Cowboys? Who should I be more worried about, as you've labeled the Eagles the clear favorites in the NFC East?
See, I think the Cowboys defensively are better than the Redskins. I could see the Eagles going into Washington and winning. I cannot see the Eagles going into Dallas and winning.
You can't see the Eagles beating the Cowboys on the road?
No, I can't. I really can't. Dallas has been real good at home, especially their defense.
But I don't
On the
understand,
road- on
I
the
don't
road,
understand
they've
how
been
that
bad.
computes. But we're not going to beat Dallas on the road, but we're going to put 40 up on Sunday against Carolina?
But you're home, and the Eagles also play a lot better at home for the most part.
Except for against the Vikings. Yeah, Doug's 14-4.
Well, that was a bad game. They had a bad
Doug's
day.
14-4 against the at home as the Eagles head coach.
If you take a look at their
And one of the losses was a dopey Cowboys game where they had all the
but that
backups
game
in.
that game doesn't count.
I'm just saying,
mean,
it's still a loss.
I know, but you can't really sit there and I mean, I know it
So Doug
counts,
Peterson
but-
has 3 legitimate losses at home. You're absolutely right. They're a different team at home, with
Oh,
the
they're
outlier being
100 times better.
October 7th
their
against the
defense,
Minnesota Vikings.
their defense, for whatever reason, doesn't
Which
travel this year.
that game still makes me mad.
Which one?
The Vikings game.
You should be more mad at the Tampa game
Because
because that was really inexcusable.
no, but Carson wasn't playing then.
Yeah,
so
but
I can somewhat forgive that.
but their defense to let Tampa Bay get that 4-minute offense going was bad. I mean, it's
yeah,
not
but
like
it
they're
happened. It was on the road. You lose games sometimes on the road.
I know. Well, but that's what I'm trying to say about their defense.
I wasn't
Their
even that
defense
mad. I was at
seems
peace with the Titans' loss
to
as
see
well.
that was a tough loss too.
That was a
but-
tough loss, but sometimes you get got. And I think the Eagles' offensive coordinator, Mike Groh, is an idiot. I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. I think he's in over his head. They should have hired Deuce Staley.
Well, who did they had Reich last year, correct?
Yeah.
Right. He's
Yeah.
with the Colts.
Right.
And they also lost their quarterbacks coach. He's offensive coordinator for the Vikings now.
Yeah.
And they got
I'll tell you,
Mike Groh.
Speaking
Mike Rowe, your
speaking
new
of-
OC, and Press Hill, the new quarterbacks coach. So.
All right, let's get to the Scanzano sports poll question.
Yeah.
We covered the East. I'm super nervous about the Eagles game Sunday. Sunday's Eagles game is going to be the true litmus test. We're going to find out what this Philadelphia Eagles 2018 version of the Eagles are made of on Sunday. Brad has them putting up 40, winning easy.
41-21 Eagles.
I'm not so sure.
I think they.
We'll
I think
see
they
how
win
that goes.
easily.
The Scanzano Sports Poll question of the night. Who's the NFL MVP? We'll kick it around the NFL here for a few minutes. Who's the NFL MVP through 6 weeks? We have Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Todd Gurley, or you can write in your own selection with the classic other cop-out fourth answer. I couldn't come up with a fourth clear guy.
I mean, there's no problem with that. I don't think it's a
put
cop
other.
out.
James Wilder checking in from the north.
Winnipeg zone.
My vote will have to be Mahomes, Gurley, close second. That's fine. My answer's Gurley.
My answer is also Gurley.
My answer is Mahomes.
That's
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
If they won last
I can't
night,
argue.
If they won that game against the Patriots last night, I would
You would
go Mahomes.
You would definitely get the
Oh,
hurdle
come on,
on
you
that
can't
one.
blame-
He's up there. He's
you
up
can't
there.
blame
though.
Mahomes for losing
At-
the game. He
at
put
this-
40
I
points
don't
on
blame him
the
for losing
at
the game.
thi-
That's
at
not
this
what I
point-
said at all.
No, I'm just saying.
At this point, it's going to be Gurley and Mahomes from this point forward in determining on who's going to be the NFL MVP.
I think Gurley has just been.
We had a
Gurley's just been
fantastic
so
write-in. We had a
dominant.
fantastic write-in vote, which
Yeah.
I'm going to get to in a second. Kyle Meager, right now, I'm going to have to go with Mahomes. Again, fair. Don Welsh, Ornsby checks in. I'm sorry, we've had two great write-in ballots. Terrence Dunaway, Drew Brees MVP.
I like that one.
That's
What
a
about-
good one.
What about Kamara?
That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Kamara is a superstar too, by the way.
Deion Brown checking in. What up, fellas? For me, it's Todd Gurley. Greg Milkovic. Todd Gurley for me. Have a great show. Tom Arnone is Gurley. Doug Zeke with the Adam Thielen write-in pick.
Adam Thielen has had 100 yards every week, hasn't he?
He has almost 600 yards receiving already.
Yeah, he's been
through 6
absolutely
games.
brilliant.
He is on pace for 2,100.
Wow.
Over 2,100 receiving
Man.
yards. This
I don't know if that's ever been possible.
This guy was undrafted, wasn't even invited to the combine.
Let me ask you a question.
He
You think
scratches and claws, gets
think he
himself on
likes-
the
you
roster. He
think he
might be the
likes,
best receiver going.
you think he likes having Kirk Cousins throwing to
I
him
guess
now?
he does.
I mean, boy, oh boy.
Apparently.
He
Yeah.
and Kirk Cousins have something special.
Has not
going.
happened yet. If Thielen keeps it up, he could be the first ever wide receiver to break the 2,000-yard plateau in receiving yards.
I'm rooting for
That would be-
That'll be something.
That
I
would
wish
be
he
a
wasn't on the
remarkable-
stinking-
That would be a
Yeah.
remarkable feat.
I wish he wasn't on the stinking Vikings, who I
Yeah.
hate.
I hear you, but that offense fits perfectly for records like that to happen. I mean, if Thielen was paired with like Drew Brees, then we would have crazy numbers out the wazoo.
By the way, speaking of one team that really, what do you call
Shit
it?
the bed.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
say
That was.
it.
That,
You
yeah,
can say we're not
okay.
regulated by the
Okay.
FCC.
Okay.
Yeah.
A team that really shit the bed last night, the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah.
Don't even get me started. on
How
that
do
one.
you
Don't even
lose
stop.
to the Miami Dolphins?
I'm gonna get all worked up. My
how
blood pressure.
how with Khalil Mack on your team do you give up 31 points with Brock Osweiler as
Yeah.
your
Shredded him.
quarterback? And how does he throw for 380 yards?
Not only were the Bears up 21-13 late in the ball game, they were also up 28-21.
I mean, how
They
do you,
lost the game.
Then they could have capitalized on that Kenyon Drake fumble.
The guy fumbled on the 2-inch yard line.
I mean, that's just
Kenyon Drake's fumble was 7 yards closer to the end zone than Jay Ajayi's fumble
Yeah.
in overtime.
I mean, that is
In
and
overtime.
they couldn't win.
that is not championship football either.
Taylor
by the way.
Gabriel, fantasy stud. Taylor Gabriel, fantasy stud. Pick him up if he's available. Taylor Gabriel is a stud.
He's
Thanks for the advice. I'm going to try picking him up now.
Terrence Dunaway, Saints versus Rams NFC Championship.
that
Hard to
is-
argue with that.
That is hard to argue. I'll tell you what, the Rams right now.
Who's the third best team in the NFC?
Wow. This
Man.
year,
Is it the Skins? I mean, 3-2 beats 3-3, right?
I mean, right now I
Seahawks
guess I
are
have
3-3.
I'd have to say I'd have to give it. Right now I'd have to give it to the Vikings. I know you're not enthralled
right.
by that team. But
That's an oversight on my part.
But,
yeah, it's
but
the
I think
Vikings.
Yeah, I would
think,
say the
I think. I
Vikings.
mean, listen, they won in Philadelphia. That's still an achievement. Whether whether you're mad about how Wentz played or not. I mean, they still to beat that team in that building is very, very difficult to do. I mean, you got to give that team a ton of credit for that.
Do I have to though?
Well, I think.
Do I have to,
You
Brad?
don't have to do anything, but I think they deserve some credit for doing that. That's that's a major victory. Anytime you can
All
win
right,
in that
I'll give
building
them credit. They're the third best team in the NFC.
right now.
Robert Mazia, Gurley deserves it.
That's my boy.
Okay, I mean, Todd Gurley was a man possessed yesterday against the Rams. If they don't have Todd Gurley in that game, they don't win. Because it was 25 degrees and snowing in Denver. That's not good for Jared Goff and that high-flying offense.
No, but Todd Gurley had over 200 yards rushing yesterday.
Yeah,
he was not going to be. And I'll tell you what, the week before, who did they beat the week before? The Rams.
They beat Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
That last drive when the Rams
He
had the ball.
torches Seattle every time he plays.
When the Rams had the
Torches
ball in the
them.
last 5 minutes of that game, they just kept giving him the ball, and Seattle could not stop him. I mean, fourth down on your own 40-yard line, and your your coach. And I'll tell you what, the Rams coach is a pretty smart guy, McVay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He saw. I mean, I just want to get back to this because I wasn't here last week, so I didn't get a chance to talk about this. In that game, the Rams could not stop Seattle at all in the second half. I mean, and he was smart enough to see that the Rams had I believe it was 30-30, and he saw that if he punted, that the Seahawks were going to march right down the field and score.
They were
again.
actually down 31-30.
It was 31. Yeah, they were losing, and I think he realized if he punted the ball back to Seattle, that the Rams were not going to get the ball again on his own. I think 30 or 35-yard line, maybe the 40. He went for it, I think, on 4th and 2, and Gurley went up there, and they couldn't stop
Want
him.
to know why he did that, Brad? Because he watched Doug Peterson film before the game.
Well, you know what?
Guy goes for it all the time. Frank Reich goes for it all the time.
No pain, no gain, no pain, or whatever you want to call it.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Thank you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but you know what? The bottom line is he plays
Roscoe.
winning. He plays winning football.
Right. What's going on YouTube? Anything?
Yeah, YouTube is flying here and there. I know Two Gun Tommy talking about Eli for the beginning of the chat.
Yeah, he was killing him.
Yeah, killing Eli.
Everybody's killing Eli. I know.
And then apparently Roscoe said that Tom Arnone went crazy on Facebook.
Tom Arnone did go crazy on Facebook.
Yeah,
A lot of people are going crazy on Facebook these days.
yeah. Over things that, let's not get into it.
Over things that should not concern them.
Yeah.
We're not
We'll
gonna get into
we'll
it.
just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to completely leave it at that.
Right.
I got one thing to say, and I'm going to say it. I don't
It's so
care if
stupid.
it pisses.
It's silly.
You people
They
who
both
are
should
sitting
stop.
here trying to troll the Yankees all the time, shut the fuck up. Your Philly team sucked. They were 80
Wait,
and 82.
okay.
Okay.
You
All right. All
Here
right.
we go.
You couldn't
All
beat
right.
Now you poke the hornet's
You
nest.
couldn't beat.
Yeah.
You couldn't beat Georgia
Oh, yeah.
Court
Oh, yeah.
College.
Oh yeah.
in the last
when I
6 weeks of the
lose, I got to
Second
throw
best
beer
team.
cans at Craig Kimbrell.
Second best team.
throw
the second best team in the
Oh,
National League.
jeez.
And did they
Yeah.
win a game after the middle of August? For
Yeah.
God's
Oh,
sake.
jeez.
Philly
And you're
fans.
trolling-
Philly
and you're
fans.
trolling the
Philly fans
Yankees?
are monsters. Oh, let's throw beer cans or beer bottles at Craig Kimbrell in the bullpen. No national criticism for that. Let's throw a $15 bill on an Oakland Athletics fan in Oakland.
That's pretty mild.
No.
That's
What-
pretty
what is
mild
ever-
compared to what you people did to the Minnesota Viking fans in the bathrooms last year.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Let's
Over
put
100
that on the front
over
fucking
100
page
people-
of CNN
over 100
while
people
you
were-
New York Yankees
Well-
fans get a pass because you have 27 world championships. It's total bullshit. You're not better. Your fans are scum. It's a complete joke.
We're not talking about
It's
that.
a complete
We're
joke.
not talking
I'm
about
talking
that.
about that.
We're talking about
I'm
the fact
talking about that.
You morons are
Oh,
criticizing
we're morons.
Yankee
We're
fans.
morons.
when
Your
the
fans
Yankees,
are on the fucking hook
Yankees
right now, but
won-
I'm a moron.
The Yankees won the wild card game. They lost in the playoffs.
Such a
You
piece of
guys
shit
were
fan
not
base.
in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
You guys weren't
oh,
even
okay.
over 500, and you're trolling the Yankees? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's throw an $18 beer on an Oakland A's fan when you're
12
up. Oh, what are they? What is it?
It was
Only
a $12 beer.
But when I'm on sale, what was this shitty Miller Lite? Throw an $18 Miller Lite, and then oh, it's fine. He took him out to the club after. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm not defending anybody that does.
You
shit
Yankees
like that.
fans better check your fucking privilege. It's
Look,
total
you
bullshit.
You guys,
total bullshit that they're off
You
the
guys
hook for
want to
this.
troll?
And how about
you guys
these?
wanna
How about
troll?
these Boston fans? They throw beer on Tyreek Hill. They're brushing charges against him. But Philly fans are monsters. Monsters. BS. I can't stand it. This fan base gets they're no different than any other major fan
No,
base.
they are the worst. But that's
They're
beside
not
the
the
point.
worst.
I'm going to go back to what I said before.
Because you privileged New York fans.
To be
we have
trolling the
27
Yankees.
world championships. We can just throw beer at the best closer in baseball because you're sore losers. You got beat fair and square, so you're throwing shit.
Would you like me to revisit some of the shit that Boston did, that the Boston fans have done to the Yankees? Would you like me to revisit when Gary Sheffield went to go field a ground ball in the right field corner?
They're scum too. I just roasted them too. Were you not listening?
One guy punched him in the face.
Yeah,
and
clean
another guy
out your
threw beer
ears.
at him. Well, this is Boston, okay? You guys don't have a rival like that. There's no team that you guys play
I beg
that
to
you
differ.
hate like that.
I beg to differ.
Oh, who do you hate like you hate the Red Sox?
Okay.
Like we hate the Red Sox in Philly.
The Penguins. Are you kidding me?
I'm talking about in baseball.
In baseball, the Mets is a total blood
Well,
rivalry.
the Mets suck.
They're both down right now.
They both stink though. Well, all I'm saying is,
Clown.
Rob, you guys
Clown.
want to criticize
Clown
the
takes.
Yankees. Be in the playoffs. Go further than us. Okay, Boston fans earned the right to troll us.
Sorry,
They beat
I'm not the
us.
general
You
manager of the
didn't beat-
team. I'm not the
you
general
didn't-
manager of the Phillies. If
you
I
didn't
was
beat
the
us.
general manager of the Phillies, we'd be in the playoffs every goddamn year, kicking your ass in the Fall Classic. Let me tell you something, bud.
Didn't happen though, did it?
You're fucking privileged New York Yankees fans with your pinstripes and your Mickey Mantles and your Joe DiMaggios. Oh, I'm
Forget Yogi
sick of
Berra.
them.
Don't forget Yogi.
Whoever. When you go to the fork in the road, take it. Doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Oh, it makes plenty of sense.
Oh, but
To
yeah,
Yogi, it does. Listen,
let's just bust out
just
my
remember-
wallet.
Just remember one thing: if you're not,
Oh,
if Yogi,
come to the club.
If
It's
Yogi's
fine.
if Yogi's not hungry,
And
he
I'll
orders
tell
a
you
pizza,
what,
he
that
gets it cut in 4
scumbag
pieces.
Boston fan that threw beer on Tyreek Hill should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
I agree with you.
Of the law. You only think that because it's a Boston fan. You're so biased. You're so ass backwards on what fan bases are monsters and who's this and who's that because
Okay.
you're blinded by your championships.
Go to Philadelphia. And
The
root
rules
against
apply
the
to
team.
everyone.
Go
Not
to
you
Philadelphia.
can't just bury
Go
us.
to Philadelphia and root for the other team and see what happens. Your fans
I am.
have
You know what,
no
Brad?
respect.
You know what, Brad?
Your fans have
I am
no
going.
respect.
I am going to conduct
They
a
have
sociological
You have
experiment,
no respect. Let me
and
tell
we
you
are going
something.
to.
They have no
oh,
respect.
yeah, Philadelphia has no respect.
Philadelphia people, they go to other stadiums, okay? And
Yeah,
they can,
and
they
the
can,
Vikings
and
fans
nobody-
want to roll in, dress up the Rocky statue, and think it's all fun and
So they
games.
can get-
Then they get
so
their
they should get
teeth fucking
assaulted.
kicked in the NFC
So it's
Championship
okay to
game,
get
and
assaulted
they
in
go
the
home
bathroom.
and they make a bunch of fucking news reports that were too mean.
No,
frauds.
because they were getting because they were getting assaulted in the bathroom. That's why.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why they were making.
Yeah, there's never
reports.
been a fight at a New York Yankees game. Let
Oh,
me
there've
tell
been-
you.
I'm sure there've been plenty of them. I didn't see any this
Yeah.
year, but I'm sure there were plenty of them.
Yeah. On the 6 Friday night games you went to, you didn't see a fight.
Six-
When they're playing the Kansas City
16.
Royals in the middle of fucking
Actually-
July,
actually,
there were no
16.
fights. No shit.
I went to plenty of.
Ridiculous.
I went to let's see, 3 Red Sox games this year. There were no fights. I went to a Met game. There were no fights with the Met fans. I'm just telling you, Rob.
You know what? Since you opened your big mouth, I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to conduct a sociological experiment. I'm going to go to a basketball game. I'm going to go to a hockey game, and I'm going to go to an Eagles game. And I'm going to wear the other team's jersey. And I'm not going to cause
Are
trouble.
you gonna have security?
No, I don't need security.
Oh, I
I'm
think you
blue
will.
collar Rob Brinkman. I'll be just
yeah.
fine mixing it up with the people of Philadelphia, no matter what jersey I'm on, because I'm
you
a
gonna-
normal
are you gonna
person.
root- are you gonna root or are you gonna sit there?
98% of the other Philly
Are you
fans.
gonna? Let me ask you a question. Are you gonna?
No,
are
I'm gonna have my a T-shirt of the opposing team on. I'll even do it against a rival. I will even sacrifice my morals and maybe wear a Pittsburgh Penguins shirt or a Boston Celtics
don't do
jersey.
that. Don't do that.
I won't wear Dallas
do that.
Cowboys. I'll wear a Redskin. We'll do it at a Redskins game. I'll wear a Redskins jersey. I'll sit up. I'll be respectful. I won't yell and scream. I'll sit there and we'll see what happens to me. And you know what's gonna happen to me? Fucking nothing.
Oh boy,
nothing.
You're gonna be in for a very big surprise.
If I'm not going there and instigating in another team's jersey, the Philly fans won't do anything to you. I promise you. Promise you.
I can actually vouch for Rob on that.
Promise you.
If you go,
you might get jeered at. You might get ribbed a little bit.
I predict that you will get hit by at least 1 or 2 beers throughout the game. I can guarantee you that. You will get a beer. You will get a beer shower.
You're
at some
a clown.
Point. No, I know
You're,
it.
you're,
I
you're
know.
so off
I've
base.
seen it. I've seen it. I've lived it. I know it. I've been there. Okay, I sat with my daughter.
Because you're a jerk off New Yorker.
I sat
you
with
go
my
there.
daughter. At
Oh, yeah.
I sat with my daughter at a Yankee Philly game. Okay, and I sat right behind home plate, and we were very quiet that game. I mean, I wore my cap. The Yankees actually got their brains beat in that game. I didn't say anything. You know what? When on my way back, they were terrorizing me, and they were terrorizing my daughter because
What do you mean terrorizing?
Huh? They were threatening us. They were threatening me. They were saying, "Look at the asshole! Look at the asshole Yankee fans!" And they were, my daughter's like 8 years old, and I turned around and I said, "Stop!" I said, "I'm with my daughter. Would you mind behaving yourself?" "Oh, you want to talk about it? Let's take it out into the parking lot." They're telling me, This is what I'm talking about.
You
this
want
is
to
the
paint with a broad
thuggery.
brush.
This is the thuggery that I'm talking about with them. They
What was
just
that?
don't
What do you
know
explain
to
how the
behave.
fans behaved towards Craig Kimbrell? And that guy, the A's aren't even a rival.
Nobody cares about the A's.
Well, that guy did.
Well,
He
I
paid
don't-
good money for his seat.
In the
Sat there
bleachers?
in his jersey while his team's getting their brains beat in. It wasn't even a close game. He gets a beer thrown straight on him for no reason.
I think he was sitting in the bleachers, but I mean, the bleachers are a tough place to sit if you're rooting for the other team. I would say that.
Why
but
does that matter?
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Rob. Okay.
Seems like the
If you
decorum
go-
of a
if you
27
go
world
to-
time world
if
champion
you go
fan
to-
base should be above throwing an
if you go
$18
to-
Miller Lite on an Oakland
If you
A's
go
fan.
to if you go to a game, okay, and you are rooting for the other team, you should be
The
treated
Dodgers
the same
fan
way.
killed a guy.
Oh,
They
the
killed
Dodger
a
fan.
San Francisco Giants fan. They paralyzed him and killed him.
They're
You're gonna
pretty
call
bad.
us thugs?
And the Bruin. Didn't the Bruin fans beat up a Flyer fan? Almost kill a Flyer fan.
See, we're victims.
In the no, I'm just
We're
trying to think.
victims.
When was it? Do you remember when the Flyers came back on the Bruins when the Bruins had a 3-0
Yeah, I
lead?
remember it.
Some Flyer fans were out in the parking lot yelling, "Let's go Flyers!" And I believe one of them got the living daylights beat out of them, and it was put in the hospital. But I mean, this is the kind of thing. If you go in and you don't start trouble in an opposing ballpark, you should be treated the same way you would expect to be treated.
So you want to?
That's
you just
how I
want to
think.
paint.
I don't
you
get-
just want to call all Philadelphia fans thugs because of 2% of the people. That's
Mm,
wrong.
I think it's more than
It's-
2%.
it's
That's the
not.
problem. There's a lot of, for some reason, there's the
the same amount of
pent-up
jerk-off-
anger in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, New York people aren't angry. There's no pent-up anger in that city. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? Not as
bad.
much.
Not even
Are you
close.
kidding me?
Not even close.
New York.
New York. You can go. Listen, you go to a game in New York and you root for the other team. Nobody's going to bother you unless you sit there and you start screaming and acting like a jackass. Then they'll bother you, but nobody's going to bother
I went to
you.
a Phillies Mets game in high school. It was Cole Hamels versus Johan Santana. I did nothing. I was in high school. I did not have my bravado that I have at age 29. All I did was sat there with my buddy. We get verbally abused on the subway coming home. And the Phillies lost, by the way, 2-1. So I don't take to my social media like Brad Ryer. Oh, New York this, New York that. No, because I actually think like a normal person and don't paint like a broad. I'm gonna do this fucking experiment, and you're gonna be proven dead
God.
wrong.
You know,
I'm gonna get scientists to help me. I'm gonna get sociologists to help me. It's gonna be an official.
Frank.
Official
do you know,
report.
do you know
Oh my
anywhere
God.
I could get a life insurance policy?
It's
for
gonna.
this guy? You're gonna wear a Crosby jersey in Philly?
I didn't say
Oh,
that. I said I wear a
jeez.
T-shirt. I'm not wearing a Sidney Crosby jersey.
Okay, all right, because that.
I'll wear a T-shirt, maybe a hat.
Why would you do that? You're
To
gonna
prove
be-
you wrong, because it means that much to me, because you're an
Rob,
idiot.
I don't want to see you get hurt. You're not
gonna
understanding.
get
Your
hurt.
fan base is so ignorant. You don't get it. You see, you got your part. I'm not saying you're like that, but you're part of the fan base, and you just don't get it with
Guilty
these
on
guys.
guilty on that part.
Yeah, I mean, you
But
you
I
don't
don't
see it.
understand how New York is different than Philly, or Boston is different than New York, or Philly's
Listen,
different than
I can't
Boston.
I can't speak for Met fans because I'm not a Met fan. I have never been to Citi
Mets
Field.
fans are animals.
Okay, I don't know about that. From what I understand, Met fans are pretty bad and Jet fans are pretty bad. Yankee fans, for the most part, are pretty well behaved. When they play Boston, things can get out of hand.
I didn't see well behaved in the playoffs
Well,
against
as
the
I
A's
said,
or the Red Sox.
well, it's never totally well behaved when they play the Red Sox. But the Red Sox fans also come in, and they also start a lot of trouble too. But I mean, as I said, you go in when the Yankees play Houston, okay? There was a whole group of Astro fans. Nobody really bothered them. We were, as a matter of fact, everybody was having very civil conversations with them. There wasn't a problem. When I saw them a few years ago against Texas in the playoffs, a lot of them were wearing those stupid deer horns or whatever the hell they were. Nobody really cared. I mean, they just let them be. They also weren't running around screaming and yelling Yankees suck in their ballpark. Like,
How come
the
when
Red
you're up
Sox fans
7-2 in
do.
the wild card game, you got to harass that guy and throw a beer on him, and then everyone wants to laugh about it after because they took him to a club and spent a bunch of money on him.
Well, at least
You
they
Yankee
did that.
fans better check your privilege.
At least
You're
they
no
did that.
better than the Philly fans.
No, I don't think
Check
so.
your privilege.
I would beg to disagree. As I said before,
Why?
I gotta
Why?
get you.
Because
I
you
gotta
think
get
you can do whatever you want because you were good with Joe DiMaggio in the 50s?
That has nothing to do with it.
You're
What is
entitled.
that has nothing.
You're entitled.
It has nothing to do with anything. As I said before, trolling the Yankees when you're not in the playoffs and you're under 500 is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. There's no reason for it.
I've always
You're
given
not-
the Yankees the benefit of the doubt
But
until
Rob,
right now.
why
You ruined
would-
it for me.
why
I
would-
hate them.
why
I hate
would-
New York. They're the only
why
New York
would-
team I gave the time
why
of
would
day
you-
to. I hate them.
Why would
I can't
you troll,
stand 'em.
Why would you troll a team when you're not playing against them in the play? If you beat them in the playoffs, yeah, you get the right to troll them. But why do you even care? First of all, it's Boston, and nobody likes
Well,
Boston.
why do you
anyway.
troll the Eagles when your team stinks?
Because you're all trolling us.
Oh, that's a mature response.
Well, you want to know why? You asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer. Again,
you
may
want to
not
give me
like
a
the
real answer? You want to do?
Oh, we're
What are we on?
We're
Were we
retaliating.
in third grade in the back of the bus telling Joe, like, what the heck is that?
Pretty much.
We did it because you did it to us.
Pretty much. But I mean,
Mr.
listen,
Vespi,
Oh,
I
God.
only did it to him because he did it to me first. So I shouldn't be in trouble.
here's what
so it's fine that I
here's-
did it.
Here's what I'm gonna.
You're
here's
full
what
of
I'm gonna-
shit
Here's what I'm
tonight.
gonna. here's
The
what I'm gonna
teacher
say.
in me wants us to have to punish both of you for arguing.
Here's what I'm.
That's
gonna
what we do.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. Okay?
He did it to me first.
He started it.
he started it.
He started. No, he started it.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, when people start trolling each other about their teams, as I said, if you beat us in the playoffs or you got further than us, then you should troll away. But I mean, your team. I just don't get why you.
Can I
even
bring up your
caring.
Facebook
Why would
feed
you
from
even-
last
Oh
football
my
season?
Why would you
Can I
even care?
Oh,
can I
dear
bring up your
God.
Facebook? I don't have
because
time to
Eagle
do it.
fans are very, very annoying.
You can bring it up after the break.
We got to talk about other stuff after.
As a
Yeah,
matter-
of
as a
course.
matter
Of course, you're
fact,
going to talk stuff after the break.
my behavior this year towards the Eagles has been pretty good. I don't think I've sang "Die Eagles Die," but once this year.
No, you have. You have.
Just once.
You have.
Only once.
It's so second nature. You don't even know you're doing it.
I did it against Tampa Bay, but I left you guys alone against Minnesota, and I did not do it to you guys against. Oh yeah, I did against Tennessee. Yeah,
you
Because
did.
that
You
was
did.
that was such a glorious win
did.
for the Tennessee.
And
for the
when we were
Tennessee
blowing through the league last year, and Carson was the MVP of the league. But this, that, the other.
Well, I
Still
wasn't expecting
57
to win.
years with no championship.
We have four.
We have four.
Well, yeah.
You're
well, we
king
still-
troll.
We still
And you
have-
want to tell us
We still
that
have.
we shouldn't
we
troll
still have
you?
four. We still have four.
You don't have shit. The Giants have four.
Well, as fans, we still can put up 4 banners in our basements. You can only put up 1.
Yeah. Good luck going 2-14.
Well, you know what? Look at it this way: if they go 2-14, to get another good draft pick.
Yeah, they need a franchise quarterback, and there's not one.
No, but you never know. They could always trade for a backup that could become one. You never know.
All right, Chief. Are you ready for a break?
Oh, my
My
goodness.
voice needs a break.
Yeah.
Screaming.
I thought you were going to
Brad.
kill Brad, Rob.
Maybe Derek Carr.
I
Oh,
could never.
jeez.
I could never.
Maybe Derek
Carr
Carr
is trash. He's gonna have him. He's worse than Eli. He's not worse than Eli, but he's pretty bad. Let's take a break. ATG
All
Radio
right.
will be back right after this.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome back, A2D Radio, Sports Hounds, final hour, exclusively on YouTube. Check out social media accounts for the link. Jump in, the Scantana Sports poll question, MVP of the league. We went around the NFL. We got in a heated debate about the fan base and how the Philadelphia fan base is.
And I thought that Rob was gonna kill you,
I
Brad.
He wouldn't be the first one.
I could never kill Brad, but the kid over here's got to check his privilege. You got to check his. He's no better than any fan from Philadelphia or Boston or Chicago or.
Oh, I didn't
LA
say I was better
or
than
San Fran.
anybody. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody.
You didn't say. You said it with your actions and your posts.
I'm
and
saying
your
that
words.
I would feel a lot more safe not going into Philadelphia wearing another team's jersey. That my safety would be in jeopardy.
You're full of garbage. you're so full of garbage. my sociological experiment. will
Wear a
prove
Lawrence Taylor jersey in Philadelphia.
Lawrence
one
Taylor,
day.
the King Crumb. Lawrence Taylor.
Greatest player to ever play defense in the NFL.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
Biggest crumb ever. Too.
let's get to the.
All right, we got two live games right now. The Niners and the Packers are playing a ho-hum, awful football game right now. It is 17-14 Packers with 12-23.
And shame on the Packers that this is even a game. They should be smoking.
I
this
don't even
team.
care about this game.
I'm
They should
legit
be smoking
concerned
this
because my opponent has Devontae Adams
he
playing,
has a
and
touchdown.
he already has a touchdown. So I hope the defense can
He's
get
had
together.
a touchdown like 8 straight games dating back
Yeah.
to last year.
Yeah,
Rodgers hits him up all the time.
somebody stop him,
By the way,
please,
our boy
please,
Joe
San
Mixon,
Fran.
You did a good job picking him,
Who?
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon? Yeah, but our team fucking stinks.
Well, because we don't have Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Who did we have as quarterback yesterday?
We had Dalton because Stafford was on a bye.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I was asking. Oh,
Well, we're just going to drop Dalton. We'll put Stafford back in next week.
yes.
It's all right. We'll make a run.
Oh, we will.
Tariq Cohen's
He's
is
supposed
in
to be.
the lineup
He's supposed
from now
to.
on.
By the way, he's supposed to be
That idiot,
back next week.
that idiot
from what I
Corey
hear.
Davis is benched unless he plays the Eagles again. And it's the only team he does good against, the Eagles. Corey Davis.
Yeah.
King Turd. What a bust. He was on everybody's breakout list, including yours.
He was.
Mine a little bit,
I told.
but-
I told you I liked him too.
But
Oh,
yeah,
well.
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell is the one that's killing us right now.
Le'Veon Bell, not to be.
But he might be back this week.
All right, we got baseball, NLCS, Game 3. First game at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. Walker Buehler's on the mound. Brewers got one right off the bat in the first. They're in the top of the fifth now. It is 1-0 Milwaukee. Walker Buehler pitching very good. I believe Shashin pitched for the Brewers. And
Chassin, yeah.
This has been quite a series, Brad. The
Yeah,
first two
I'll tell you
games.
what. I'll tell you what. You're getting very close to hater territory.
Why?
Well, if they
okay. Hater.
Hater.
Josh Hader.
Josh Hader.
Okay.
Oh no, not Hater. Hater. Josh Hader. The
I
guy
got
with
you.
the man with the flowing locks.
Well, this is what happened when you get me all worked up in the
Oh,
first
my
hour.
God.
I see
They're
red
getting very
every
close.
time you say
They're
something.
very close to Josh Hader territory. And if Milwaukee can have the lead and get him in the game, you got to think that Milwaukee.
This is how
can
every
win this
game is gone. Low scoring in like the first 4 or 5 innings, and then the offense has come alive. That's how it was last night with the American League Series.
Yeah.
Boston evening that up at 1.
Well, that's because neither one of those teams are really good in the bullpen. Boston and Houston, they both have very good starting rotations. I'll tell you what. Yesterday, regarding the Boston game, Garrett Cole, boy, he came out and he had a rough first inning.
I mean,
he-
that's an easy
he-
lineup to do that
he-
against.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, the ground ball that he took and he threw away, that to me, that's what lost them the game. Not the Jackie Bradley double off the left field wall, because those things happen. But that's, to me, was,
You know what? I do have a
was a
beef.
killer.
First off, two things on the Red Sox. Alex Cora being ejected in that game, that's a joke. That's just show off ump. That there's no place for that. You don't throw a manager out in the ALCS between innings. That's bogus. That guy should never be allowed to ump again.
That's a bunch of crap. I agree.
Absolute bunch of crap. Number two, these managers have too short a leash with their aces in the playoffs. I mean, you're going to pull Chris Sale after 3 innings when he lets up 2 runs?
That would be Joey Cora. I don't think you could say
Alex Cora.
Alex Cora. I'm sorry, his brother.
That's a joke.
I would agree that he's ridiculous. The AJ Hinch does not do that. He lets his pitchers go out there
for the Houston Astros. Manager for the Houston Astros.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Justin
Garrett
Verlander,
Cole got in trouble in the
right, but
early
you know
in the
what?
game.
And guess what?
You got to stick with what
He
got
also
you there.
he also retired his last 11 batters.
Right, and the bullpen came in and the bats came alive because Houston's bullpen stinks.
Exactly. Verlander pitched a gem.
I think both these series are going 7. By the way,
I think the Astros win this in 6. I think the Astros are going to win 2 out of 3 in
Game 7 would
Houston.
be in Boston, correct?
Yes, it would. Now, I guess
Game 7
Sale is okay because Sale got released from the hospital today.
Supposedly.
So yeah,
That's what I read.
So I don't know what's up with that, but you know, I would think that you'd see him out there on the mound, Game 5.
It's a great time for sports. This fall period.
And you know what's coming up now? You know what's coming up starting, I guess, tomorrow is the NBA. And the NHL has started, and
we have the Sixers song,
Woohoo!
Frank.
this is
We have the Sixers song.
I do not have it on here.
this is a fun time of
Clap
the
your
year.
hands, everybody.
So the over-under,
Philadelphia
so the over-under is what?
76ers.
54 and a half?
Over under is 54.5 for Sixers win total. I hate to be the voice of dissent, and I mean no disrespect, but if I had to bet, I would bet the under.
I would bet the over. I think they're going to win 56.
I'll take the over.
My
as well.
Sixers take is that they are going to be the 3 seed,
I agree
Toronto
with
the
that.
2 seed, Boston the 1 seed, and I think that they go to the finals as the 3 seed. I think the Sixers are representing the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals, and they're going to get swept by the Warriors because it's not fair.
Well, because it's the Warriors.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Here's another bold prediction for the Philadelphia 76ers. Your 2018 NBA MVP, Joel Embiid.
Ooh.
MVP of the league. Right here, heard it here first. JoJo. Trust the
JoJo.
process. King process. Brings home the MVP to Philadelphia. The first such award since Allen Iverson won in 2001. 25 and 12 he's going to average.
Ooh.
Healthy season.
He might do that. He might do
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna happen.
I could see him doing that.
53 wins. I'll go 53 wins for the Sixers. No, we'll go 54.
I'm going to go 56.
I'm gonna go 58.
Wow,
Then they're going to come in. Then they're going to come in second. Then you're thinking they're going to come in
They're,
second.
they're gonna be up there.
Boston.
I mean,
Boston is going to win around
1, 2, 3
games.
is gonna be a mismatch between like it's obviously 1, 2, 3. It's either gonna be Boston, the Sixers, or Toronto as your top 3. If the exact order, I'm probably gonna go Boston 1, Sixers 2, Raptors 3.
All right. Here's my question.
That's what I'm gonna go with that top 3.
Here's the big question.
Yeah.
Okay. Kawhi Leonard, how many games is he going to play?
He's going to play a full season.
He's gonna play a full
He's going to
season.
be a top 10 player in the NBA, like he is.
Okay. If he plays a full season, I see Boston winning 66. I see Toronto winning 60, and I see the Sixers winning 56. And I see the rest of that conference being a train wreck.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
I mean,
That's not
The
fair.
only
A
other
train wreck?
team,
Oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to
No,
be bad.
I just-
it's going to be
because
pretty bad. There's a lot of
Milwaukee
bad teams.
presents a lot
Milwaukee,
of matchup problems.
Washington at
okay.
one
The
at
Wizards
one
are
point.
super athletic. I really like what the Bulls are doing out
But
in Chicago.
the problem is the bad teams in the East are really, really bad.
The bad teams in the West are really bad too.
Yeah,
Boy, I don't
Sacramento,
Know.
The,
That's
Knicks, the Suns,
the Suns.
The Knicks.
the Knicks stink.
The Nets.
The Knicks, the
Nets
Nets.
are better.
The Nets are better than the Knicks.
The Nets are no. I mean,
The Nets are
yes,
better
a
than
lot
the
of teams are
Knicks.
better than the. Well, the Knicks don't have.
They don't have
Porzingis.
Porzingis.
Yeah.
They may not have him all year, but I mean the Knicks.
The Cavs are going to be
the
awful.
Nets, the
The Cavs are
Cavaliers are going to
terrible.
stink. The Atlanta Hawks are
The
going to be
Hawks.
horrible. I mean, there's going to be some real bad
The
teams.
Hawks
Magic.
have promise though.
Still in rebuild
So
mode.
the Magic have promise as well.
Yeah, they still are
They
good,
have
though.
young pieces.
They got a
But the
long way to
West, they
go.
stay. The
Yeah.
Suns have no chance.
too
Suns are
loaded.
The
horrible.
Kings have no chance.
Yeah,
The
that's-
Clippers have some veterans, but they have no
The
chance.
Spurs are probably going to miss the playoffs for the first time in, forever.
I don't know about that.
I mean, they lost
They
like
got DeRozan though.
yeah, they got DeRozan, but
DeRozan,
all their guards like
he can't
got
shoot.
injured,
He
and
can't shoot.
Ginobili's. I don't even. Is
He's
Ginobili? He's playing.
He retired.
Oh yeah,
He
okay.
retired.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was still playing or not.
So they
They
have
still have Patty Mills.
they have Aldridge and the
And
package they
Aldridge.
got for Kawhi.
Yeah,
They're not making the playoffs. In
there's
the
no
West.
way.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
The Mavericks are my sleeper team in the West.
Yeah.
Doncic,
Doncic,
Dennis-
DeAndre Jordan.
Dennis Smith, DeAndre
Yeah.
Jordan.
That'll be an
Dirk's-
entertaining
Dirk-
team
looks
to
like
watch.
Dirk looks like Dirk's gonna be picking his spots this year.
Yeah.
Might be a farewell tour.
Probably it. Probably it for Dirk.
We'll see if Harrison Barnes can finally give him something. Probably not though. He stinks. But
The
yeah, I like-
Pelicans unsure about if they're going to get rid of Anthony Davis.
I don't think they
the
will.
Wolves are just a complete.
The dysfunctional
Soap
family of the
opera
Timber
right now.
Bulls.
Yeah.
It's not the Timberwolves
lot of
anymore,
talent.
Frank.
Yeah.
They're the Wolves. It's more distinguished.
well,
and
no,
mature.
they're the Timber Bulls because they got a bunch of old Bulls players: Jimmy Butler,
good one.
Joakim Noah, Derrick
That's where he
Rose.
landed.
Oh, Joakim
Taj-
Noah landed there?
Yeah, Taj Gibson.
Right.
All Bulls teams.
Right.
Tom Thibodeau's the coach. It's the old Bulls teams, but
That guy.
it's just sad now.
that guy's no good, man. Thibodeau.
Thibodeau, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Butler gets traded mid-season. I would not be
Butler,
surprised.
Isn't he not? Butler should be traded now.
He should have been traded. He should have been traded a week ago.
He went to
Well, he-
practice screaming at everyone.
He
Yeah.
demanded,
Made
he
no
demanded
sense.
a trade,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't trade him.
But anyway, back to the Sixers. My third take: the Sixers go into Boston tomorrow. They win. Markelle Fultz, not a triple double, double double,
Ooh.
double double for Markelle Fultz tomorrow. Take your pick if it's going to be assists or rebounds for the second part of it.
I'm
He'll
gonna go.
have
With,
to-
I'm gonna go with
he's definitely going to have
rebounds.
10 points.
He's gonna have the 10 points. I'm gonna go with the rebounds.
10 points, 10 rebounds.
10. Yeah.
No, because Ben's the ball handler. So
Yeah,
that-
Ben's the
that
ball
makes
handler.
sense. So we got Sixers a 3 seed going to the NBA Finals, losing to the Warriors. Joel Embiid MVP. Sixers win tomorrow. Markelle Fultz,
That'll be fun.
10 points, 10 rebounds at least.
That will be fun.
Boom, boom,
I'm
boom.
very excited for
Three.
this Sixers season. Hopefully they can make up the mistakes, especially when you open the season against
Okay.
Boston.
Would you
Let's
like
hope
to
they
know
get
what's-
over that hurdle.
Do you want to know what's really going to happen?
What's really going to happen?
The Celtics are going to win by 16, 36-13 for Kyrie Irving, 36 points, 13 assists.
So you're gonna give me the Sixers.
It's going to be
you're
all.
Gonna give me,
It's going to be all. It's going to be all Boston.
you're gonna give me the Sixers plus 15.5.
They're going to win by 16.
So
It'll
you'll give me the Sixers plus
114.
15,
It'll
15 and a
be
half.
114.
Hold on,
to
hold on,
98.
smart ass, Mr. New York, Mr. New York.
The
You're gonna give me the
Celtics-
Sixers plus 15.5 right now.
Oh no, I would give
Well,
you
then
whatever
shut
the line
up.
is. I give you what the line is, but you know what? I'm telling you what the score. That's my prediction.
Sixers are 4.5 point dogs for those.
Oh,
living
and
in-
Sixers
in
JT
reality.
has a hot take. He says Simmons will make at least one 3-pointer this season. One.
Oh, he'll make
One.
more than
And then
not, not two.
just one. He just says one. And JT also says that his sleeper team in the West is the Nuggets, most underrated coach and center in the league, all-around good
yeah,
team.
I mean, with all due respect
Yeah.
to his
If
hot
Michael
take,
Porter Jr. looks good, then he could see them being a 6 to 8 seed.
I mean, that's what they were. I mean, I don't want to.
I mean, they were on the
Thank you for-
outside looking in. They were basically an 8 seed, but because of a tiebreaker, they couldn't get
They-
in.
What about Utah?
Didn't they get in on the last game of the season?
No, I thought Utah got it.
Utah was like the 3 seed.
Yeah,
Utah was
the Jazz like caught fire. I think they finished. I think they were
Jazz are
fourth
good.
seed last year. Yeah, I think it was the last game of the season. I think if not one of the last games of the season
All
where
right,
the Nuggets
let me blow
failed to
through
make
these.
the playoffs.
Let me blow through this Sixers talk. Sixers JT, Sixers 55 wins. That would be an over. That's a good number by Vegas, 54.5. That's tough.
That's about right.
It is about right.
That's about
Over or under, Tom? Over. Shocker.
right. You
Raptors.
really have to ask? I say 50. I think 50. I think 56. I think 56 is about right.
Raptors will get 52. I say Celtics 60 plus, considering all goes well. 60 wins is a lot. The East isn't that bad.
Celtics are really good though.
Hayward doesn't have the speed and agility he used to have, but that doesn't matter with
Yeah, it was the
stacked
last game of the
talent
season for the
Boston has.
Nuggets last year.
And they got in.
They
correct?
lost.
They
They lost to the
okay.
Timberwolves.
Okay.
It was a winner go
Wolves.
home.
They're not the T-Wolves anymore. They're more classy now.
Yeah, they're the
They dropped the
Wolves,
timber.
or
It's like when the Rays, they're the Rays now. They're not the Devil Rays.
or as I like to call them
Sophisticated.
now, the Chicago Bulls, but sadder. That's basically what this Wolves team
Kyrie
is like.
looks great. It's stat. I mean, Gordon Hayward can come off the bench with Tatum and Jaylen Brown playing. DeMar DeRozan, Bob Brinkman, DeMar DeRozan does not show up in the end. Check his playoff stats last year. That's a great point.
That's
He'll
been
dominate
going on for a long time.
Embiid will dominate tomorrow. So I got Sixers win tomorrow. Brad's giving me 15.5.
114.
I got
98,
Embiid 25 and 12 on the season, average MVP coming home to Philly, and I have the Sixers winning the Eastern Conference as the 3 seed, getting swept by the Warriors.
You think
in
Embiid's
the
going to
NBA
be
Finals?
the MVP over LeBron?
That's how strongly I feel about it. That I am not picking LeBron to be the
That's
MVP.
That's saying something for him because
I love
he is-
LeBron. I
he-
can't wait.
He's the biggest LeBron fan I've ever seen.
I can't wait to stay up late and watch LeBron in that purple and gold just clown on everyone except the Warriors.
No, they
gonna be
will.
great.
They will because LeBron will.
It makes the
make
second.
that team-
It makes there's another relevant team out west that I actually want to watch.
LeBron will make that team a very good team.
They're gonna win 50 games. They're gonna be in the Western Conference Finals.
They might. They might.
Absolutely.
They might. And you know what?
Absolutely.
Who's to say that during the season they'll make a couple of additions?
They might.
I mean,
They might.
You know, I mean, I think they're going to be very aggressive. They tried to be. They couldn't bring in anybody as a free
Well,
agent.
they didn't have a
but
chance with anyone. They couldn't make a trade for Kawhi Leonard because they didn't have the pieces. That nobody had a chance at Paul George because
he wanted to stay in Oklahoma City.
re-signed, and they got the Lakers. They got LeBron. Those are the 3 guys.
Houston is still going to be a major factor, although the Carmelo Anthony factor could hurt them.
Could.
Because every team Carmelo Anthony touches, he destroys. So that could be the Carmelo jinx rearing its ugly head.
Sixers JT Embiid MVP. Wow, that's a hot take. Kind of a stretch. Is it really that big of a stretch? Is he not a top 10 player in the NBA? Is he not a top 10 talent in the
He
league?
might be a top 5 talent in the league.
It's a
Best
bold
center,
prediction. It's not a hot take.
best
There's
center,
a difference.
Best center in the NBA.
The guy on the Nuggets is pretty good.
Well, so is what's his name? But
I was so pissed. We had our fantasy basketball draft last night. I had 7th pick and Embiid went 6th, so I had to take the Nuggets guy, Jokic. The Joker.
DeAndre Jordan's
Crushed.
pretty good, but DeAndre Jordan does not have
he
the
is
offensive
a
game.
one-way. Joel Embiid is a center that shoots 85% from the free throw line.
He also hits 3-pointers.
That's correct.
And has outstanding moves inside.
Joel Embiid can get a
Joel
rebound,
Embiid-
run the fast break, and slam
Rob,
it
Joel Embiid is the closest
on your ass
thing,
at the other end.
Joel Embiid is the closest thing I've seen to Hakeem Olajuwon since Hakeem Olajuwon
That's
played.
your boy too, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon, in my opinion, was and again, I mean I remember Wilt, but when I saw Wilt, I was a little kid. I don't have that great a memory of Wilt when he was in his prime. Hakeem Olajuwon was the best center I've ever seen and that includes Kareem. Because you know what? Hakeem actually played defense, which Kareem kind of skipped over a little bit.
It's true. Sixers JT, true, but when's the last time a center won the MVP?
I think Hakeem.
No, Shaq won. Shaq won.
Didn't Moses
couple.
win it? Didn't Moses win one too?
Moses was way back.
Okay, but he's asking about centers that won the MVP. Shaq most certainly won. Did Hakeem win one?
Doesn't matter.
When
I don't
Jordan,
know. We'd have to look it up.
When Jordan was resting and trying to play baseball.
Trying being the key word.
Yeah. And when he was trying to play baseball, I don't recall, but yeah, he was. In my opinion, he was he's the best center I've ever seen. Both just so good, and defensively, the guy was dominant.
I'm trying to.
I mean, I've never seen a guy who could lock down. I never saw a guy who locked down Patrick Ewing the way Elijah Wan used to, and that's saying something because Patrick Ewing was a very good offensive player.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing is great. I got the MVPs right here. Scroll down to the bottom.
Well, in between
Harden,
all the
Harden,
millions-
Westbrook, Curry, Durant,
well,
James,
in between
James,
all the
Rose.
in between all the Jordans, look at the 2 years he didn't play.
Garnett won in 04 as a power forward. That's a big guy. It's the same thing. Tim Duncan won
Tim
back
Duncan,
to back.
Okay, Tim Duncan's a center.
AI in 01. Hakeem won 93-94.
Okay, so he
David
did win
Robinson. David Robinson won 94-95.
Okay.
Malone won in 99.
Okay, so
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
06, 07. Power forward. He's not a center,
well,
but
Malone
I'm going
was
to count
not,
him.
Malone was not a center. Malone was a power
So the
forward.
last big man to win the NBA MVP was Dirk Nowitzki in
But he wasn't a center.
06, 07. Power forward, center, it's the same thing. Joe is a stretch four.
But he plays center for that team.
He
though.
does. What Dirk didn't line up at center at all in 06, 07 season? Bet you did at least once.
Maybe, but I mean the center on that team was what's his name? The guy that used to play for the Knicks, Tyson Chandler.
Right.
He was the real center on the team. I mean, I'm just saying guys that were pure centers. Hakeem was a pure center. David Robinson before Hakeem got there was a pure center. Then he moved to power forward when he got there.
Yeah, Dirk won. Kareem won 6. That was a while ago. That's when the center's coming back. The center will reemerge in the NBA. Once this Warriors fad is over. But look at the DeAndre Ayton went first in the draft. He's a traditional center. Marvin Bagley is a traditional big man. He went 3rd in the draft.
Well, remember one thing, okay? If you're 7 feet, okay, and you can shoot.
Mo Bamba went 5th.
If you're 7 feet and you can shoot and you can rebound and play defense, guess what? You're going to be a dominant center. It's just that for whatever reason, all the real tall guys have not been great players. All the great players you've gone through an era where most of the great players are just shorter guys and not centers. You know what's going to happen?
Because everyone wants to shoot threes every possession because of the Warriors.
Right, but you're going to get
Warriors are the exception, not the rule.
Right, you're going to get to a point where, and listen, after this year, that Warrior team's going to get broken up.
You would think
this is the last year for the Warriors. I mean,
if Durant grows a sack and goes somewhere outside his comfort zone,
Durant is gonna be a free agent. So is what's his name, the other guard,
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson's a free agent.
Draymond needs to get paid.
Yeah, Draymond's gonna need to get paid. I think when's did Stefan get extended?
Yeah.
Okay, so
super max
all right,
$40 million a year.
All right, so he's there for the duration. But
And Durant will be there as well, I think, because he's too much. He's too soft to leave. And if he does leave, he's going to go right down the road to L.A. and play with LeBron. Because he's soft.
That I could see. If he was a real man, he would come with Jimmy Butler and go to the Knicks.
Yeah, I bet.
That's if he was a real man. But we'll see.
That's a bold take.
Well, that's just a
Are you guys
hopeful-
gonna throw beer on him if he doesn't play for the Knicks?
if he doesn't play for the Knicks?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a pipe dream, but you have to. We can at least hope, but I mean, it's doubtful. But I will say this about the Knicks: look, Porzingis is not playing this year. He may be ready to go in the end of January, beginning of February, but they're not going to play him this year.
There's no point.
They're going to tank. They're going to try to get another top draft pick. Then next year they're going to be like $40 or $50 million under the cap. So they're going to try to get a max or two max players somehow in, and they're going to try to start competing. But this is not going to be the year. Plain and simple. It's just not. There's no way. I mean, I don't care how good Kevin Knox ends up being, and he might be really good, but it's not going to help this year.
He's been dreadful in the preseason shooting the basketball.
Yeah, I heard his last game against the.
They are committed
the
to
Nets,
him.
He's 2 for 9.
They are committed to him starting at the small forward position. So they're going to let him
Who else
play.
do they have?
Well,
they have a
Tim
choice?
Hardaway Jr.'s in the mix there.
But
They have
he's a
Mario
two.
Hezonja, who they got from the Magic, who was a top 5 pick once upon a time.
Yeah, but he's
So
a
I don't
bust.
know. Like, they're
He's a
gonna
bust.
they're
I
gonna
mean,
they're gonna
have Trey Burke as their point guard. They're gonna have Hardaway as their 2, and what's his name? Corey. What the hell's his name? The guard. Corey. I can't remember the guy's name now. The guy that
Corey
used to play.
Joseph.
No, the guy that used to play for Memphis.
Corey.
guard.
Corey.
I know they're trying to trade him. I just can't remember his name.
New York Knicks roster. Let's see how bad these chumps are going to be.
Courtney Lee.
Courtney Lee. I'm sorry. Yeah, Courtney
Western
Lee.
Kentucky's
Yeah, Courtney
Guy
Lee.
stinks.
Courtney Lee.
Yeah, look at how pathetic this roster is.
Ron Baker.
Ron Baker stinks.
Look at this. Dwayne Dead. Oh, I thought I was going to say Dwayne Devin. Damian
Damian Dotson.
Stinks.
I don't even know who he is.
Uh,
Luke Cornett. Give me a break.
Cornette, he stinks.
Frank. You think Frank makes a jump?
No.
Mitchell Robinson.
Ennis
Mudiay.
Cantor.
Ugh.
Ennis Cantor is a real good player, but you know
I
what?
like
The problem with him is that he's on the Knicks. So
Yeah.
I
Noah
do think
Vonleh-
he'll end up-
Noah
I'm not the
Vonleh,
biggest.
I like
fan of,
Cantor. You know what? Cantor can score. He plays
Cantor.
hard.
There's bad
He's got
teams.
some
in the
He's
Yeah.
gotten
NBA.
better. I'll give him that.
He had a real
He's-
good year
He's
last
gotten
year.
better, but
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
Frank. He had a real good year last year. You know what? He played his guts out last year. You know, he gave you everything he had. I thought he had a pretty good year. This will be his last year though, because he's going to be a free agent after this year, and he's making $18 million. And you know, there's no way the Knicks are going to keep him. But I could see him getting traded at the deadline. He could definitely help a team.
Frank, you're a Sixers fan.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on Elton Brand as a general manager? If they're
Man.
in the thick of this, which they're obviously going to be,
They are.
barring major injuries, does Elton Brand have it in him to make a big time trade at the deadline, or
I mean,
pluck guys off tanking teams like
I think he-
Colangelo did last year?
I think he can pluck guys off of teams.
By the way,
What's your confidence level? And what's going on?
Here, Sixers JT wants to know who is going to be the most improved player this year.
In the league?
That's a tough one.
yeah.
I'll get back to that.
Okay.
But Frank, what is your
I was completely surprised by them picking Elton Brand. I'm surprised they went within the organization to pick someone. I thought they were going to go somewhere with it. I was hopeful. Hopefully, I thought it was going to be David Griffin, previously of the Cavs.
There's no point in hiring David Griffin if you can't get LeBron. The only
Right.
reason you hire David Griffin is
to get your
'cause
big
he's
guys
boys
like
with
LeBron.
because if he's boys with LeBron, he
Yeah.
can get LeBron to come here. Then it doesn't matter
But-
who the GM is. LeBron's a GM. Everyone
I
wants to come
mean,
play with LeBron.
I think with the perspective of him being a former player, being a GM, he can actually relate to the players a little bit more. So I think, I'm going to give him a chance. I'm glad he's different than a Brian Colangelo or Sam Hinkie. It's a little bit refreshing to see something different going on with
Over
this
under
organization.
2.5 burner accounts for Elton Brand.
I'm going to take the under and go with
take the under.
I'm going to go with no burner accounts for Elton.
It's an overwhelming favorite.
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
let-
taking the under. But
You gotta lay out $1,000 to win 100. It's minus 1,000.
That'd be nice. But I'm still going to take the no. But I think he is going to try to acquire at least probably one, maybe two players. See where the Sixers are in the thick of things. I think they're still going to be up top in the Eastern Conference come All-Star break, trade deadline. So yeah,
They still have lots of.
So
They
on a
still-
s-
they
on
still have a lot of
scale one to
assets.
10 on a scale of 1 to 10, sounds like you're about a 7.
I'm about a 7 right now. I'm
That's
gonna stay at a 7. See what he does during the regular season. See how he does during free agency. I know it's another big free agency period. I know we still have that big 3 core with Simmons, Fultz, Embiid, Saric. So I'm gonna see if he makes a big.
Have a big 3. There's no big 3.
There's no big 3. It's emerging. It's emerging,
Right.
but we'll see what
there's
happens.
A big 2 with 2 potential good role
Yeah.
players in Saric and Fultz. Good role players.
Good role players.
Not the third. Not the triumvirate.
They're not the
of a
third
big
reel
3.
yet.
Yeah,
Not
they're
yet.
going to find the third wheel. We'll see what happens in
We'll have a
his
chance,
first off season.
but
So
they'll have
Third
they'll have a
was
chance to
LeBron,
get a
and
third
they
wheel.
missed
it
him.
could have been LeBron, but you know what?
LeBron wanted to play
I'm-
in LA.
To get back to Sixers,
Yeah,
JT.
I'm
Who do you guys think
yeah.
your most improved players? I'm going to the Bulls. There's a couple candidates on the Bulls that I like. I like Jabari Parker for comeback player of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Improved player. I like Zach LaVine there. The Nuggets, Jamal Murray was kind of a breakout last year. Improved. So that means someone would have to have stunk last year
yeah,
and then rebounded. Jabari Parker is a comeback player of the year.
yeah.
coming off the bench in
Jabari being a
Chicago.
comeback player could be reasonable.
Well, how about a guy?
Um,
How about a guy who was injured a
Who
lot
are the
last year
rookies?
and comes back and has a good year, like John Wall, for example.
I mean, John Wall is a superstar.
But he was
His-
injured a lot of the year last year.
Right, but I mean, his off year is better than 95% of the league.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I'm a huge John Wall fan.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a real good player.
Yeah, he's pretty much unstoppable. Another sport, by the way, that just opened the doors a couple of weeks ago, the NHL.
Flyers sitting at 2-3. They play the Florida Panthers tomorrow. Big sports day
in
in
Florida?
Philadelphia tomorrow.
In Florida or in Philly?
That's a home game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a home game.
Uh-oh.
Sixers are in Boston.
That's
that
right.
seems
I
to be
forgot.
not good for the Flyers this year at home. for
Oh,
whatever
but they
reason.
played their hearts out against the Knights.
Yeah.
They just got outclassed because Fleury stood on his head and they just
Fleury
couldn't
has
get one past him.
Fleury is
And
gonna
they
have
let
games like
let
that.
in a goal with what was it, 3 minutes left on the power play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he only gave up one goal.
I know Flyers got to score.
Yeah,
but-
I was gonna say. I mean,
Oh,
you
they
can't
had
blame-
their chances.
You can't blame the goalie.
Marc-Andre
You can't blame the
Fleury
goalie
stood
when he
on
gives
his
up his goal.
head on that game.
However, the
They got
the
smoked.
San Jose game was a bad one.
They lost 8-2 on their home opener. I'm not thrilled about that, but boy, the Sharks, they're gonna win a lot of hockey games this year.
Oh, the Sharks are good. The Sharks are good.
I think they're gonna win it all.
Yeah, I was telling you that I thought I like them this year. As long as Jones and Dell hold up in goal, I think they're going to be very tough to beat this year. I just don't Vegas. I just don't see it happening with them this
Well,
year.
Marc-Andre Fleury plays like he did on Saturday. They're gonna win a lot of hockey
Yeah.
games too.
I understand that, but I just I don't see him doing that every night.
No, it's impossible to do that every night.
You can't. You can't. The East is going to be interesting. I'll tell you, the one emerging team, and I know Jim Jackson kind of wrote them off, but I think he better start watching out for the New Jersey Devils. I said it before, and I mentioned to Jim about him and about them, and he thought that they're too much of a one-man team, but I disagree. They've got some players. One of the guys on their team has 6 goals already. I mean, they've got some guys who can score on the Devils. They're 3-0, and they're off to a real good start. I mean, one thing about the Devils, they are fundamentally sound. They were built the right way. It was Kyle Palmieri, by the way. Kyle Palmieri, who is a goal scorer to begin with, already has 6 goals. I mean, that team has a couple of guys up front who can score, but they're real good defensively. They're real strong in goal. That is a fundamentally sound hockey team. And, the Devils, whenever they've been real, real good, have always been fundamentally sound. Good defensively, good between the pipes, scores enough to beat you. And that's basically what they've done so far. And I'd be very, very worried about that team. I mean, that's a team that's under the radar. I look for that. I look for that team to be the dark horse team in that division. I mean, obviously you've got your Capitals and you've got your Penguins and the Flyers. They lost JVR for a while, but they'll still score enough goals. It's always going to be about the goaltending with them.
There are 4 games live right now. The Leafs lead the Kings 3-1 in the third. Canadians up 6-1 on the Red Wings. Third period just underway. The Senators up 2-1 on the Stars. 13 minutes to go.
Boy, is that game in Ottawa or is that game in Dallas?
Looks like it's in Ottawa.
Looks like all 2 fans are going to be watching.
Yes, both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And both of them are probably rooting for the
Toronto.
Stars.
Yeah. The Toronto Maple Leafs are
And to round it out, 3-2 Predators over the Wild at the second intermission.
The Predators are going to be a very, very tough out this year.
They got my man Lavi.
Yeah.
They've got a very good team.
Well, talk about
you have the Predators, you have the Jets up there. It's going to be.
I think, and I'm going to say this, and with all due respect to James Wilder, I have to say about Winnipeg, they are probably the most fundamentally sound defensive team in the Western Conference right now. They are very strong between the pipes. They got real good, fast defensemen, and they've got plenty of scoring. And as long as Line A stays healthy, they're going to be real tough. They could end up being the team to beat in the Western Conference.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
The Leafs.
The Leafs and
the
Jets.
Leafs can score.
The Leafs sit atop the Eastern Conference right now.
The problem with the Leafs,
they're 4-0 on the road.
I understand that, but the problem with the Leafs, and they got Tavares, which is
huge help,
big time,
huge. And you always like teams. You always like teams that can score, but I'm concerned about the Leafs goaltending, and I'm not sure about their defense. And when push comes to shove in the playoffs, when they've got to play Boston and they've got to play Tampa Bay, or if they have to play teams like the Flyers or the Penguins or the Capitals or the Devils or even the Blue Jackets, all these teams can score too. And for the most part, they can defend just as well as the Leafs. I'm not crazy about the Leafs defense, and I really don't like Frederik Andersen. I think he's a big stiff. And I'm going to tell you something. I can back it up with the fact that Anaheim was having all kinds of problems in goal. Mm-hmm. Okay? Who's the first one they traded? They finally settled on Josh Gibson, who's ended up being a pretty good goaltender. But who's the first one they traded? They wanted to get out of town. Frederik Andersen. Okay? I don't like him at all. I'm sorry. And anybody wants to argue with me about Frederik Andersen, I don't like him. I don't think you can win a big game with him. He's never been a big game goalie. They may have a good regular season. They may get a lot of points. They'll probably get over 100 points. But you know what? When push comes to shove and you get to the playoffs and you're playing against teams like the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning, who can also score and are very solid defensively and have good goaltending, the Leafs are going to have problems.
All right, and the Carolina Panthers are 4-1 with 9 points, second.
Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, the Panthers are they're going to be playing
Panthers
football.
are Florida stinks.
Carolina, I said Panthers. I meant Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes.
They're 4-1 with 9 points. Second in the East, only behind the Leafs, 9 points. That's an aberration, right? That's a mirage, right?
They'll be better. I just don't think they're ready to make the playoffs. I just think unfortunately, the Metropolitan Division is loaded, and the other division, the Atlantic Division?
The Atlantic. That's
the Atlantic
the Leafs,
Division.
The Bruins, the Sabres.
Yeah, the Atlantic Division is pathetic. Other than the top 3 teams, the Leafs, the Bruins, and Tampa Bay, the rest of the teams are going to be long lost. Only 5 teams in the Metropolitan can make the playoffs. And it's unfortunate.
Do you think that the Metropolitan Division is going to have the max 5 teams?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So what's that leave?
Absolutely.
That leaves 3 teams.
That you're going to get. Well,
So who are the-
honestly,
who are the top-
Penguins? The Penguins and the Capitals, are going to make
Yeah.
it. So one way or another, regardless of the starts they get off to, they're going to make it. So yeah, the other 3 teams, you're going to have the Flyers, the Devils, the Blue Jackets, and let's
Hurricanes.
let's put the Hurricanes in there for just because. Okay,
Rangers, Islanders.
Rangers stink.
Islanders
The
are going to be a
Islanders
dumpster fire.
stink. Those 2 teams are going to be in last place. They're
So
both
who are the
awful.
3 you see from the Atlantic? The Lightning,
it's
the
a
Leafs,
3
and the Bruins.
Yeah, those 3 teams are going to be. They're going to be. It's going to be distance between them. It's going to be like if that was the Kentucky Derby, 30 lengths behind those teams.
That's a trifecta box.
Yeah, that's your trifecta box. That's the
Gotcha.
easiest
So
trifecta.
now you're
box
speaking
you're-
my language.
That's the easiest trifecta box you're going to have. Now, any one of those teams could win. Could win. I think that the
That's why you
solidest,
box it.
the
So it doesn't
solidest.
matter
I
what
think the
order.
solidest team out of the 3 is Boston. Okay, I think they're the solidest team. I think the most talented team, I think, is Tampa Bay. Toronto is good, but you know what? I just wonder if they can keep the puck out of the net enough when they start playing top competition. Now, when Toronto plays bad teams, you're gonna see a lot of 8-2, 9-1 type games with them because they're gonna score a lot of goals. They are just loaded, and to have John Tavares is just filthy, and it's an embarrassment of riches up front. It's going to be a question of defensively. Over in the West, as I was telling you, any team that can put Erik Karlsson or Brett Burns out there, for 40 minutes out of 60, is going to be very, very difficult to beat. Because when you have 2 superstar defensemen who can score like that, it's tough. It's just very, very tough.
We make the Blackhawks fast start.
They're a dumpster fire.
They're a dumpster fire. They're 3-0-2.
Nah, Corey Crawford's out for like half the season, isn't he? I thought I heard he's going.
I have enough trouble keeping up with the Eastern Conference.
in hockey.
I don't really know what's going on.
I don't
out
believe.
West.
I don't believe in Chicago. Maybe they come back. I don't think they're going to be any good. As I said
What about
before,
Dallas? Dallas has had a lot of talent in the past.
Dallas for some reason can never seem to put it together. I mean, I don't understand that team. There's a lot of talent on that team. They should be better. I don't trust them. The teams I like out there, again, you're talking about Winnipeg, Nashville. Those are two.
They're both
real
in the
good teams.
Central.
Yeah. Out west, San Jose. I love San Jose.
That's Pacific.
Yep.
That's the Pacific.
Pacific. Yes, that's the Pacific. I mean, the Golden Knights are still good. I just don't know that you're going to get the kind of season you got last year. I think
they're
last year
magic.
last year was very magical.
Are the Kings better?
Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs. I mean, they've been able to finally rebuild their team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think the Flames are going to be a dumpster fire. Edmonton, I just don't know with them. I don't think they're going to be all that good. As I said before, I think the Winnipeg Jets and the Nashville Predators are the 2 best teams out there.
Who? Nashville and who?
The Winnipeg Jets.
Who's the kid from South Jersey? Gaudreau?
He's on the Flames.
He's on the Flames, yeah.
What
He's
a waste.
good.
What a waste of talent. He should be he should be playing in Philadelphia or New York. I mean, he should be
I mean,
he should be up here.
all I hear about is how good the Flyers farm system is, but I never see them on the ice in the NHL. Why not trade a couple of them for Gaudreau?
The Flames would do that too.
Why not? Wouldn't that be a smart? Isn't Gaudreau
If the Flames,
is he really young? Is he like 25 years old?
Yeah, that's not so young though anymore. He's not so young anymore.
25, Jesus, Frank.
In the
I just turned
NHL,
29.
In the
Jeez.
NHL, yeah, but in the NHL, young is considered 22, 23. 25 is starting to be veteran. 30, most players that are 30 in the NHL are gone. They're too old and too slow.
It's 5 years from now for him. You have 5 years of a proven guy.
I understand that, but there are not that many guys that are that good. Once they hit 30, they're done.
But he's not 30. He's 25.
He's still
Frank,
young.
can you look up his age?
He's still young. No, he's still
Oh,
young enough.
Gaudreau?
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
Uh,
25. He's
Johnny
the same age
Hockey?
as,
I believe he's 25.
yeah, he's the same age as Chris Kreider. They
Why
played
can't
together.
Why can't Hextall trade for him? All these guys that are on the Phantoms. We need a stacked AHL team.
I don't know. I don't know what Hextall
Why don't we
is doing.
get him in here?
I would
He'd
love
be-
to see Johnny Hockey in a Flyers uniform.
Johnny Gaudreau in
Why,
the
is that a
Flyers,
crazy?
wow.
Is that nuts?
I would
is
love
that
it.
not feasible at all?
I would love it.
Oh, it's feasible. Listen, anybody can be had at the right price.
It's like the Phillies. It's like the Phillies when they wouldn't trade Sixto Sanchez for Manny Machado.
But let me
You
ask
gotta be out of your fucking
ask you a
mind.
question: if you're a Flame season ticket holder, okay, are you going to show up if they
I don't
trade the
give a-
one
I don't
great
give a
player?
Shit about the Flame season.
But
ticket
it's not
holders
good business
in
for
Western
the Flames to-
Canada.
But
What do you mean? You're getting
but
if
it's
they're
not good.
if they're a smart fan base like a Western Canadian hockey fan base should be, they should recognize that
they're going to recognize that they want to see their best player on their team.
the ends justify
They're
the
gonna
means.
they're going to say, hey, look, we think that with Johnny Hockey and Giordano that we got a pretty good team, and
But they don't. You just
well,
told me they stink.
I don't. Oh, I think they stink, but you know what? I don't know how a Flame fan feels. What's the record right now?
They're good. They're 3-2.
That's not gonna last.
They have
though.
6 points.
Yeah, that's not gonna last though. They're not a good team. The Flames. The Canucks are surprising, but they're gonna be horrible too.
Arizona's terrible.
Arizona still stinks.
So like,
Yeah.
it sounds like the
As
only-
always.
sounds like we got the Sharks down in the Pacific, who are contenders for the Cup, and we got Nashville and Winnipeg in the Central that are contenders.
Don't throw out Colorado either. Colorado
Don't throw
is
out
good.
Colorado.
Don't throw out Colorado. They're pretty good too.
3-1-1 with 7 points.
I do not believe in the Chicago Blackhawks. They're going to have to prove to me after last year's episode. They're going to
How
have to
many
prove it
teams
to
in the
me.
NHL, in your estimation, can win the Stanley Cup?
This year? There's probably 6 or 7.
7.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna in the NHL. It's gonna be about who's healthy during the playoffs.
Well, that's why the NHL is great.
Yeah, it's not like
an
the
8 seed
NBA.
can get hot.
It's not like the
Yeah,
NBA this year.
It's two different. It's apples and oranges. We already know who the final. I don't even think another team has a chance besides the Warriors. So there's one legitimate contender.
Maybe Houston. Maybe Houston can give them a run.
If Houston gave him a run last year, then that fraud Chris Paul played 0 minutes in the Western Conference Finals, Game 7.
I know. But at least this year they have Anthony. So if they need some extra offense, if anything happens to Paul, at least they have somebody to go to besides him.
But I don't know. I mean, they lost Ariza to the Suns.
Is Ariza that big a deal anymore? I mean, Ariza's kind of old now. I mean, he's more of a role player.
But Trevor Ariza does more to help you win basketball games than Carmelo Anthony. I mean, Carmelo Anthony at this stage of his career is a bench player.
But he can still
He's a
come out
stretch
there.
forward bench.
But he can still go out there.
Trevor Ariza's got a buttload of money to play for the Suns.
I know that, but all I'm saying about Carmelo is he could also go out there and get you 10, 15 points in a quarter, too. I mean, I think he still has
That's
that.
exactly what Ariza does. I don't know.
Listen.
I think the Rockets blew their chance last year because they had that Warriors team dead to rights.
They did.
And Chris
Let him
Paul
off the hook.
Chris Paul played 0 minutes in the Western Conference Finals, Game 7.
Yeah, they without a doubt they let him off the hook.
You can't give me 15 minutes. You can't give me 15 minutes if you're Chris Paul.
I guess he was hurt. I mean, he was hurt to the point where he couldn't do that. I mean, I don't think he's a dog. I think if he could have played, I think he would have.
You got to give me something, man. They traded all that extent. You
I
got to give me
understand.
something.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. Was that a fair ball?
That was a fair ball.
Wow. Okay.
Brewers are cooking here in the top of the 7th. Man on second, 1 out, 2-0.
You're getting into Josh Hader territory.
He'll
the
probably
seventh
be
inning.
out. Well, they had a rest day yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So he's
And he didn't
good
pitch,
to go.
and he also didn't pitch Saturday. So he's got 2 days.
That's right,
He's got
he
2
didn't
days
pitch.
off.
He's probably warming up right now. Bueller's still in the top of the 7th, pitching really well. But you see, he let up. Getting back to Cora and the Red Sox, we only got a few minutes left. We're bouncing around. Cora, he would have someone warming up with Bueller giving up that run in the first inning.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how you have such a short leash on the ace dog that got you there.
Yeah, I'm not quite
With
sure
Sale.
either. Is that
Wow,
a home run?
that's out of here.
That's a home run, and now
Wow.
the Milwaukee Brewers have just
Orlando
broken
Arcia
it open.
blowing the game open in the top of the 7th, 4-0.
4-0.
They're a tough out. It's gonna be a great series.
Wow, off of Henley Jansen's. Wow.
No.
Isn't that
Walker.
Oh,
that
Walker
was
Bueller?
Yasiel
Oh, that was
Puig.
Puig. Okay.
That was Puig.
My
and
bad. I
Brown.
thought that was the mound. My bad.
No.
Okay.
Walker Bueller's still in.
Walker Bueller's still in.
Which maybe they left. I mean,
Maybe they left him in too
maybe
long.
they left him
but-
in too long. But it's the 7th inning. It's not the 2nd inning or the 3rd
No.
inning when Chris Sale left.
No, you're right. You're right.
I hated that move when
mean,
they pulled Chris Sale
Milwaukee.
in that game. I
Listen,
hated it.
Milwaukee could easily be up 2-0, heading to 3-0
Oh,
right now.
absolutely. The Dodgers played a fantastic game too.
Yeah, the Dodgers. The
Even the
Dodgers.
series.
They were life and death to win that game too. I mean, they made a nice comeback to win that game. That game could have easily been. The Brewers had a 3-0 lead and they blew the game.
The Brewers need one of these starting pitchers to step up and give them good
Well,
innings.
tonight they
Shashin's
got
been
it.
the guy the whole time.
I think Chassin has been in there the whole game.
It's been on here while we're doing the show. I've been watching it that closely.
Boy, what power to the opposite field. Who was that, Arcia?
The San Francisco 49ers are up 24-20.
How would you like to have the
Packers.
49ers in 9 points?
Yeah, I'd feel pretty good about it
Yeah,
right now.
I think so.
Not done, because Aaron Rodgers can go berserk at any time. But I don't think he's fully healthy from the Week 1 injury.
No, and there's something there's something that's wrong with the Green Bay Packers. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something
It's
that's
wrong. Their team stinks besides Aaron Rodgers. That's what's wrong with them.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying that they should be good enough to beat.
I mean, the
49ers.
C.J. Beathard led Niners offense is on pace to hang a 40 burger on them. That's the problem. C.J. Beathard in the first half at 9 of 12, 182 yards and 2 scores.
Oh my God, that's not good.
C.J. Beathard, he wasn't even good at in college.
Yeah, but he's pretty darn good tonight. That Packer defense, boy. So I'm saying, we're looking, the more you look at that division, the more and more it looks like Minnesota might have a cakewalk. Because the Chicago Bears, I'm sorry, after losing to the Miami Dolphins,
I don't want
done.
to totally dismiss the Bears.
That was a terrible
It was a
loss.
terrible loss. It was on the road. Maybe they were off balance because Tannehill was inactive out of nowhere. I didn't even know the guy was on the injury report.
I didn't either.
I was working on Sunday, so I didn't get home until later at night. I really didn't care about
Yeah, but
football 'cause the
if I'm a
Eagles had
Bear
already
fan,
won.
and I hear that Tannehill's not playing and Osweiler's playing,
Well, maybe that's what
I'm licking
they're
my
a young
chops.
team. Maybe
they should have been licking their chops to go after
maybe
him.
they took their foot off the gas a little bit. Maybe they needed a reality check. Their defense is still pretty good.
Oh, I know it is.
And
but
I think Trubisky's good.
I do too. I'm shocked at the fact that their defense gave up
They
31
blew two
points.
separate fourth quarter leads to Brock Osweiler.
Yeah.
The worst
And-
quarterback I've ever seen play
and the-
professional football.
And the Pittsburgh
and
Pittsburgh
that's
Steelers.
not a hot take. That's not hyperbole.
That's
not an
true.
exaggeration.
The Pittsburgh Steelers
He's a big goon back there.
were
You
very,
see
very
his,
fortunate.
Like, takes so long to throw the ball, and he's just such a
He has
long,
that-
nerd-looking guy.
He has that long wind-up. I mean,
Stinks.
the Pittsburgh Steelers last night,
All right,
I mean, they blew 2 leads against the Bengals,
They
but
won,
then they
though.
came back and won.
poor Cincinnati. They can never beat the Steelers. Last thing before we go, you got, what'd you say, 40-24 Eagles on Sunday? Early for
41-24 Eagles.
41-24.
Yeah, I love the Eagles to kill Carolina. Carolina is not a good football team.
I'll pick the Eagles 30-27, reluctantly. Frank, you want to check in?
I'm still thinking about it. Wait, I'll give my
See.
predictions on Wednesday.
Catch it on the fix.
Catch it on the fix.
Catch it on the fix, folks.
6 o'clock Wednesday. That'll do it for the Sports Hounds. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully talk about an Eagles victory over the Carolina Panthers. Have a good night, everybody.